Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. We're back for episode 8 of Mass Effect Aftermath.
Episode 8, holy shit.
Somewhat,
Whoa.
not exactly coinciding, but somewhat coinciding with the recent release of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which I've seen nothing but great things about. I still need to pick it up and start playing it because apparently it's kick-ass.
Except it doesn't have online multiplayer.
Yeah, well, that's a different. The multiplayer for Mass Effect 3 is another conversation entirely. It was only in the one game, and it was very much like kind of an afterthought. So I understand why they didn't port it.
Afterthought, aftermath.
I
We got
don't know
something
if I
going
want
on
to be
here.
associated. I don't know if I like that association though.
That's
It
a
makes
bad
us seem like an
society.
afterthought, and I don't know if I like that.
Well,
Yeah, we have Red. Red is back with us tonight.
Yes, finally!
Rhea,
I miss
after
you.
a few sessions working on another creative project.
Yes.
that
we're happy to
wasn't
have
a
you-
musical, but was a music video.
It was a music related. We had it wrong last time, but we're still blaming all of those people. For
It's a
taking her away
musical
from
music
us.
video.
It would
It
be
was a
weird
lot.
if it wasn't
Music
a musical
video.
music video.
Music
It would just be
videos
like
are just short musicals.
abstract.
Yeah.
That's true. I want you could group music videos, musicals, and opera all into kind of the same.
Oh,
Music-
God, let's
music-
not, though.
Music videos.
Opera's different.
Music videos are just like the TikToks of musicals.
Oh
Here's the
boy.
thing.
Operas are closer to a music video than they are to a musical.
Fair.
Interesting.
I support
In any
that.
case, we're well. If on the subject of operas, Mass Effect is a space opera, so it all comes back full circle.
Night
So
time sharp and
last time,
You mustn't!
or rather before, over the last few sessions, our group has had fought a furious battle against the Lusankia Mining Directorate and several squads of their security forces on a job for Wayland Gree, the local sort of overseer of the Smugglers Guild here in Port Fulstone. After a long and grueling fight where you freed some LMD like indentured laborers, you disabled and used several construction mechs to your advantage in the fight with some pretty spectacular effects, and you defeated the Asari commander who was kind of overseeing and in charge of the whole directorate operation within the Glacier dig site. You found a Prothean lift or an elevator that that took you underground, and where you found an entryway and an entry chamber into what you can only imagine is some kind of Prothean site beyond a door that neither you nor the LMD were able to find a way to open. You returned to Port Fulstone, made contact with Wayland Gree. He paid you each 50,000 credits total for your job. 35,000 was the agreed upon sum for clearing out the camp and finding information that he could use, with an additional 15,000 granted to each of you for finding and recovering an officer's key card, something that they could use to potentially access less available information or facilities, whether he's going to use it for his personal use or whether it's going to be something that is used for the Smugglers Guild. You don't really know, but he paid you for it nonetheless. You spent the night in the living accommodations that he and his wife keep for people in their employ, really cheap, all things considered. But the room and board was very plain as well, so it wasn't anything spectacular. You were given a set of coordinates, and you were also instructed that if you were looking for work, you could go probably check out the magistrate's board and take care of a few bounties. So you found Vagrant's Pit at the coordinates, an underground sort of fighting pit where teams or gangs, fire teams, are pitted against each other with a cash prize rewarded for the victor in a 4-team elimination tournament that he has once every month or so here on Omara, and this next one is coming up in. He didn't give you an exact date, but he said a few days' time, so it could be, probably sometime within the next week or so. He said to expect some information from him. You each paid to gain entry into this, a total of 25,000 credits, but with the promise that if you win, your buy-in will be multiplied several times. So there's a pretty significant cash prize for the team that wins in this tournament. You then decided to take a trip back out to the LMD dig site to recover what items you could so that you could trade them to the Red Corsair captain, Jado Kinsall, a Solarian who was the kind of discreet owner of the White Star Cafe and Diner, which is just kind of like it's a
Cute.
like a nice. Think of like. It's a restaurant that's a front for a criminal organization. So it's nice, but it's not too pricey or too high end, and it's not so dingy and disgusting that it kind of draws attention in that way. We pick up with you guys coming back into town. It's probably, I think we decided it was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, relative time here. Omar doesn't have quite the same time scale that Earth does, but it's it's mid-evening, early evening, and you're heading back into Port Fulstone in your Mako with the cargo holds, carrying a few weapons and other things that you found, and that's where we pick up. So as you're driving back in, what's the order of operations here for you guys?
Are we driving? Because wouldn't we be in specific spots?
Yes, you guys are in the Mako. So McGowan is driving. Tork is in the gunner's seat, which is like a sidecar kind of thing outside the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha is currently on the sensors, scanners, and communications, and you are on the electronic warfare suite, Ray, which in a vehicle like the Mako is not like something that's going to be used super often. So if we come into something, I'll let you know how we'll kind of work it in a little bit more, because it's the electronic warfare
up in
suite.
The electronic suite.
The electronic warfare suite is like meant to be, you use it to like fight off hacking attempts and stuff. So it's really only used in like high level ship to ship
She's like the tech
for the
girl.
most part. But yeah, there's stuff that you can do with it. So you guys are you're coming back into town. You just passed under the city gates. There were some local militia on patrol on the walls. And the city is, it's not nighttime completely yet, but the sun is going down. There's kind of a red, orange, purple sky kind of cast across the tundra. Kind of pinkish lavender clouds kind of floating across the sky, and it's it's a quiet night as you kind of roll back into town.
Okay. Oh Lord, the world is our oyster. What should we do?
Did we sell all the salvage to that Red Corsair guy?
Yeah. What time is it when we get back to town?
It's about 5 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, we should be able to go through it.
The equivalent to the days on Omara are a little longer than they are here on Earth, but it's that sort of mid-evening.
To the second, I want to know how much longer.
It's none of your business.
4.
McGowan suddenly has a heart attack and dies.
No.
No
He gets-
questions.
He gets a Constitution roll for that heart attack.
Nope. He automatically fails. Automatically fails. It's a genetic condition that he wasn't aware of.
Yes, roll for death.
Roll a
And
Constitution saving
and
throw.
because
Late
against
enough,
McGowan-
you mean that we should get dinner or?
roll a
because
Constitution
McGowan
saving throw
had-
against myocardial infarction.
I'm rolling 6 d20s.
Boy.
Let's see, there's a golden rule. If it is a plot point,
Oh.
you don't get a saving throw.
So here's
So
the
if
thing.
McGowan dying of a heart attack motivates the rest of us to really explore this Promethean artifact to save him, well, you're dead. Like you're just make another character.
Here's the problem. I rolled 3 d20s, or I rolled 6 d20s. 3 of them were over 10, and 3 of them were
Not so
under
much.
10.
That's all amazing, but you guys still haven't told me what you want to do.
We're gonna go to the salvage dude so we can go and sell him all the stuff that we picked up.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's a pretty quick drive to the White Star. You know, it's like just like 5 minutes in the Mako, just kind of driving down the main streets where there's plenty of room for the vehicle. I mean, your vehicle is definitely, it's one of the larger that you see. You do see like the occasional like hover car or like hover van. There are some ground vehicles as well, but most are kind of battered, old, well-used, chipped, rusting kind of hover vehicles. Very rugged.
What kind of sound do they make?
It's just kind of an electric hum. It's a bit like a land speeder from Star Wars.
I was just gonna say Star Wars.
Yeah, it's kind of in that sound range. Like it's the electric engine kind of humming away more than anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the repulsors do also have kind of a high-pitched tone to them, but it's not super loud.
That was my nickname in high school. The Repulsor.
I thought you were gonna say super loud.
Okay,
Anyway,
And
you pull up to the White Star. It's a wooden stone building. Another blazing neon sign out front. It's a white 5-pointed star. And it just says White Star kind of in semicircular pattern around it. It's a hard light neon sign, so it's not actually it's like a weird semi-physical light source. It emits light, but it's not like connected to any wires or cables or screens or anything. It's just floating kind of out in front of the restaurant. You've been in here, once before. It's the same it was before. It's lit with kind of warm yellowish lights. It's pretty clean. For the most part, it's clean and tidy. There's a few at this time of night, you see maybe like a dozen. It's not a terribly large establishment, so you see about another dozen patrons, mixed species. There's a few humans, a few Batarians, a couple of Turians. It's kind of a smattering of people in here. You see kind of in the back, there's the kitchen door, which you have been led through once before, and then next to that, which would be like when you're entering in, it would be on the right side of the restaurant, the right back corner. There's almost like a hibachi grill kind of going on there, and at the hibachi grill there's a hanar with like knives and sauce bottles and stuff in all of his tentacles, and so he's just like cooking up a storm over at this.
Like the giant like jellyfish was like 10 foot long.
Yeah, he's got like a
hanars.
couple of different knives and a couple of
He's
do
the
they
octopus
even-
chef in
do they-
Monsters Inc.
yes, yeah, he's exactly.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Do hanars even ingest food?
He doesn't have to. He's just cooking it.
He's not eating it. He's just
I'm
making
totally
it.
thinking like this is when Bender became the cook for the ship. Like the robot was the one who decided what the humans should eat.
I mean, I know a dude who works at a brewery who doesn't drink beer, so.
I worked
Fair.
at
It can happen.
I worked at Caribou Coffee for 2 years without drinking a single cup of coffee.
Oh,
There you go.
fair.
I drink a lot of coffee.
He's kind of this floating pink and purple bioluminescent jellyfish kind of guy, and he's sitting there he's got like a butcher knife in one hand, a vegetable knife in the other. He's got a sauce bottle in one tentacle, and they have 6 tentacles, so he's kind of got something that looks like in 4 of them, and he's just kind of cooking away, working on multiple orders at the same time. Yeah.
I definitely go to that guy.
Okay, he's sees you approach. You sit down. He doesn't
Calmly.
seem to, or rather, you as you approach. It's with the Hanar. They don't have eyes or a face or anything, so it's really hard to tell if it's seen you at all. But as you sit down, it's kind of working away, and you can hear it humming a little bit, and while it's humming, it's emitting a little bit of a faint bioluminescent glow, like from its body. So there's like a faint kind of silvery purplish light kind of radiating off it. It's just like kind of cooking away at its station.
Cute. Can I order something from it?
Sure, yeah. After you kind of sit down, and after a minute, you hear again. It doesn't really physically acknowledge your presence, but you hear it say, "What can this one make for the fine Asari this day?"
We said fine.
Ooh, he said fine. Ooh. If I knew more about what I eat, I would tell you.
Huevos rancheros.
What?
Yeah.
A
that sounds
universal
amazing,
language.
actually. I'll take
Huevos
that.
rancheros.
With one of its free tentacles, it points towards a stack of menus kind of down on one end of the counter.
Oh, you don't have a chef's recommendation for me? I would love it. What would one suggest for the fine
Hanari?
Asari?
Hanari recommends that your soul be saved by the creators.
The enkindlers.
Oh,
This one could.
okay.
This
I'll
one
go
could
get a
prepare-
menu.
This one.
Okay.
Well, if you ask for a chef's recommendation, it says, "This one would recommend the Tanal dumplings."
That sounds cute. I'll have those.
And if you do look at a menu, you'd see the description is that they're little dumplings made with meat from a Tanal, which is, you've seen them. They're kind of like they're a combination of both like pack animal and wild animal. So like people use them for farming and labor, but they're also found in like wild herds that can be hunted a lot like deer. They're moose-like, but a little bit, but like not quite as large.
Well, gamey dumpling.
And a little bit more like angular, if that makes any sense. Moose have like really big, broad, rounded noses and stuff.
Yeah.
Tanal are a little bit more like gazelle-like, I guess, in their kind of
yeah.
You
Appearance.
get what I'm saying. Yeah. And so so he starts kind of
That sounds amazing.
getting that kind of ready to go for you. Anybody else can, if you guys place whatever you want to eat. He kind of gets it cooking once he's finished up with what he's got. So it'll probably take him another, 15-20 minutes to get everything ready. Nothing here is of anything that's terribly complicated. It doesn't take a ton of time to make. If you guys want to sit around and eat before you go talk, I'd say run the group probably in the neighborhood of like 50 credits for everybody to get like a meal.
Like 50 credits each? Or...
No, total.
Okay.
You biologicals can enjoy your meal. We'll just chill over here and recharge.
Recharging is kind of like a meal.
You don't just like
Just
uselessly
less
masticate food,
messy
just spit it
and
out.
defecatingly.
Hey man, everybody poops.
Well, I think there's a quarter of this group that doesn't.
Everybody poops sometimes.
Yes, Alpha and Omega will just relax and recharge nearby.
Yeah, and there's no problem with you being in here. Mech dogs are common enough. You guys have, it's sort of, the way you guys have been, you and McGowan have been working here for a while is that you guys are, sort of like a specialized
Service
type
dog.
of mech dog. Yeah. So
We provide a valuable service.
People do kind of look over at and kind of like, whoa, that's interesting. But nobody like, unless you wanted to like really look
Freaks
around
out
and make
about
an
it.
insight check. No, it doesn't seem like anybody's really worried about it. They kind of go, oh, look at that, and kind of just go back to their.
Yeah, I just mean mug anybody who looks too long.
Well, I was just thinking, like, if you saw like a 3 to 4 foot tall mechanical dog walk into a restaurant, like, if you had the balls to challenge that, you probably weren't eating at the restaurant anyway.
Well, there are.
I've already done an ocular pat down of everyone here.
Okay,
so.
Go ahead and if you want to, Reya, you can make a perception check if you want to kind of read the room a little.
She already would have because she's all sniper in that shit.
Yeah, go for it.
What we got?
She's fucking Deadshot is what she is.
Sniper escort, so just always reading people.
Yeah,
exactly. Sorry,
I gotta add my shit. She's already figured out 4 different ways to kill each person.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. 17.
17. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody in here is prepared to cause trouble. You do see a couple people in the opposite corner from the grill that you're sitting at. There's a couple of individuals that stand out just with your keen ability to read people. You get the sense that they're probably like undercover guards, like people keeping an eye on the room for the proprietor of the establishment. I mean, you do see one of them as they shift. It's a human. You do see as he shifts, his jacket kind of moves, and you see a pistol holstered on his hip. But that's the only stuff that catches your eye. And again, there's no aggressive body language. They're just kind of sitting there drinking tea or something, kind of just looking around at things.
Okay, and did y'all join me for food, even though one of you can't eat? 2 of you can't eat.
Yes.
Yeah, so it'd be about 50 credits for the whole meal for the whole group.
Okay, who sat next to me?
Me.
Okay, then I want to just telekinetically relay that information to you, not through the Omni tool so that anyone can hear it. I just want to be like, do you see that guy has a gun on his hip? Just letting you know.
Tork is like stuffing his face with dumplings right now, and he's like,
in the full-on like cartoon, like cyborg,
anime style, just
like
adorable.
Cyborg and
Goku,
the old
Dragon Ball Z,
cartoon. Yep.
As Ray like cuts like and like freaking, or no, she eats with like gorgeous chopsticks, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, she's very refined, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
She's been taught how to properly handle silverware.
Like
she knows when to use the salad fork.
But anybody who passes the perception check while watching, Tork is rapidly trying to steal food from her plate that she's just diverting this way and that way with her chopsticks.
Stop.
She's like, I'll break your finger. Like a shield. Just fucking scary as hell.
Yeah, after I take like 2 handfuls of like dumplings and mine are gone, I'm like, are you gonna eat that?
Anywho, I relay this information to you just so that someone else besides just me knows in case shit starts going somewhere.
Yeah, I take a quick glance over and sort of subtly try and assess.
Okay. You can also go ahead and assess the physical, like body language. What are you trying to assess here?
more like the weapon situation, and then if they're at ease or not.
The dynamic.
Okay, so let's see. If they're at ease, that would be like 2 different rolls. So let's, since you're already kind of aware of the weapon situation, go ahead and make an insight check to kind of like read their body language and read their posture and stuff.
I got an 11. I must have too many dumplings in my mouth.
Yeah, they don't. They're not. Don't seem to be too threatening. But I'd say given that who owns this establishment, it's not really wouldn't be out of the ordinary. It'd be weird if there wasn't people on the lookout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
True.
it takes about 15-20 minutes for your meal to be prepared. It takes another 15 minutes or so for you guys to all eat your food. Look at the timing on that. And when you're done, it's up to you guys. When
Is
you
it
want to go talk.
delicious?
Yeah, it's great. It's fresh. It's hot. It's a little bit greasy, but just like not so much that it's gross, but just enough where it like adds that just a perfect amount of flavor to it.
Like good diner food. Good.
Yeah, it's very good diner food. It's exactly what it is. It's like home cooking. The climate here on Omara tends to be colder, so a lot of the food is heartier. Heftier. It's more comfort food kind of stuff.
Into it.
Nice hot food, hot teas and things like that.
Hot teas and hotties, am I right?
Yeah, you're talking about me.
Or the guy with all the tentacles.
The guy with his face shoved full of dumplings, yes.
You talking about me?
Yeah, so whenever you guys are ready, you can inquire as to the original intention for you guys to arrive here.
Once you are done consuming mass consumables, we should go find a buyer to go through and offload this gear while we still can.
True.
I'm ready to go whenever you are, Robo-Dog.
Real quick, I, as a player, did not write down his name.
The owner?
Jado?
Jado Kinsall. Jadokinsal. And he's a Solarian.
I remembered that he was Solarian. I just did not remember.
So reptilian, big eyes, 2 kind of forked horns on the top of their head. Very thin. They have high metabolisms, so they don't live very long lives. So they do everything a lot faster than everybody else. They have a tendency to be a bit condescending to other species just because they think so much quicker in a non-linear fashion. So they kind of come to the same conclusions that other people do much faster. And so that makes them really good at planning and organizing and stuff. Typically, that's the average Solarian. There's, of course, many outliers that don't necessarily fit that description, but so yeah, you'll need to find somebody to talk to make contact. So
McGowan is still struggling with the chopsticks while he's trying to eat his dumplings.
Tork will just turn to the Hanar chef and say, "That was hold on," and he'll say,
"Well, that was damn good. Is Jado in?"
The Hanar points with one tentacle He's downstairs. You'll need permission to gain access, though. One moment. And you see another tentacle kind of reach around to one of like the tables that he's working off of, kind of where he's pulling food and things from, and the tentacle kind of goes underneath and hits a button, or hits something, presumably a button of some kind. And about a minute later, you see that same Krogan chef who was here before, who works back in the main kitchen, come out, and he looks over, recognizes you, and come on, motions you for him to follow, or he motions for you to follow. Excuse me.
Cool. I'm just gonna get up and go.
Okay. Anybody going with Tork, or is it just?
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay, McGowan, you give up on your chopsticks, and
I just grab the last couple in my hand and just eat them with my hands as I'm walking to the door.
Okay. I continue following McGowan, just like I'm just, some robo service dogs.
So yeah, you make your way. The Krogan chef leads you downstairs, or leads you to the door downstairs, and motions for you to follow. And you head back down into the slightly cool subterranean cellar. It's kind of carved out of there's prefab metal walls in here, but there's also bare soil. The subterranean nature makes it a bit chilly, and but there are little space heaters here and there to kind of try and bring the temperature up a little bit, although they seem to not really be doing all that much, because you can see your breath as you walk down. It's dimly lit. There's light fixtures on the ceiling. But there's lots of shelves of food and cans and packages and stuff. So there's lots of interruptions in that light. But again, as you've been down here before, you kind of weave your way back through these shelves, and you come around a corner and you see there, sitting where he was before, smoking a cigarette, the Solarian Jado Kinsall, his feet kicked up on the table, his two big Krogan bodyguards standing aside, both of them fully helmeted so you can't see their faces. And it takes him a second, and he looks up and says, "So, you came back. I take it that means you've got merchandise for me."
Yes, Mr. Kinsall.
Yeah, we've got a Mako full of guns, if you want to check it out.
Oh, great. Yes, I think I do. Why don't you go ahead and pull it around back? We can have a bit more of a discreet look at things, rather than out on the main street where everybody can see. Not that guns are illegal in this town, but, a man in my position likes to keep things under the table, if he can.
Very well.
I mean, would you like us to just go out the front door and walk around to the back door? I don't really.
If you bring the vehicle around back, I've got a loading dock that you can park next to, and we can make the transaction a little bit more, with less eyes prying.
Well, luckily McGowan here is better with a Mako than he is with the chopsticks, at least just by a little bit.
Yeah, they're not for everyone.
Meet you out back.
Okay, so he stands up and motions for his two bodyguards, and all of you follow him upstairs, back into the kitchen, and out through the back of the restaurant into a small loading dock. McGowan, you go out through the front, get the Mako, and drive it around back. Easy enough. It's just right around the building. And as in the dock area, you do. Yes, McGowan.
I want to take the two helmets, the intact one and the broken one,
Yep.
and separate them and hide them, so that just like put them up in the driver's seat or something, so that he
Okay.
doesn't see them.
Go ahead and make a. I guess this would be a sleight of hand check since you're trying to hide stuff.
Oh, I'm so good at that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too
So
difficult.
good.
Remember, all this is optional, so it's not like he's going to freak out if you keep some stuff for yourself.
Is sleight of hand, would that be dexterity?
It's a dexterity, yes.
Yes.
That would be 16.
Oh, yeah, easy enough. Easy enough. You grab the 2 helmets and stash them in the cockpit under the driver's seat. Who had the inventory for
Yours truly.
the cargo?
That would be me.
Okay. What all did you have? And he there's like when you get into the loading dock, you see there's a couple of laborers there. There's a Turian and a Batarian, both in kind of workers' jumpsuits, and he whistles and motions for them to start helping you guys unload what you recovered.
So what I will pull out is 5 Vindicator rifles.
Okay.
Pull out 8 thermal clips, keeping some for us as well. And then I'll look at Mr. Kinsall and say, it's not much, but I think one of these 2 might have a shotgun that they don't need. And I'll point at either Alpha or I just don't remember who had the shotgun.
So you guys sold the shotgun.
Oh, we already sold. Never mind.
I don't know if you grabbed it when you went back, but you sold one to the firearms shop owner.
No, we stopped there before we went to.
Yeah.
So never mind that.
So the shotgun situation, I asked someone else. So how many Vindicators did you say you had?
5.
5. So you had 5 Vindicators and what else? Sorry, it was
8 thermal clips.
Okay.
No, you know what? We think we had 8 Vindicators because we had 3 from before.
Okay. All right, 8 Vindicators
and a thermal clip to go with each.
Anybody have anything else they were going to sell to the Jado?
Nope.
Not today.
Okay. So kind of they pull everything inside and lead you back downstairs, and you kind of lays it all out on the table, looking it over, picking up each weapon and inspecting it carefully, checking it for damages. Kind of looking things over. For each of these, since I'm going to have to do some work to take out the LMD tracking devices and get these serial numbers lasered off. Plus, they've already been used, so the resale value isn't going to be as high anyways. I'd give you $3,500 for each of these rifles. And the thermal clips, they're thermal clips, so like a dime a dozen. I'd give you 100 credits for the lot.
3 of those rifles we found unused in a crate, in a weapons crate.
Still gonna have to get those serial numbers lasered off and open them up and get these tracking devices out. And with LMD, if you've ever dealt with any of their equipment, you know that's not the easiest thing in the world. They don't like people stealing their stuff.
But we did go through quite a bit of effort to get it. And can I roll for persuasion to see if we can get a better price?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sick. Because that is a 23.
He leans back, looks at you, McGowan, looks at you, Reya. All right. I'll give you $250 for the thermal clips, which is robbery, and $4,000 for each of the rifles.
McGowan, how does that sound to you?
Sounds fair.
Like I gotta make a profit on these, so I can't give you everything I got in my pockets. You understand? I can't sell them for the initial retail price.
Good sir, I'm not asking you to give us everything out of your pockets. I was just asking us for what it's due.
I'm just explaining my position to you. That's all right.
Business
If it works,
is business. I understand.
If it works for you,
If
it works
only
for
the
me.
trades with GameStop would work this well.
If only you were an Asari infiltrator escort with a +8 to persuasion.
I mean, to be fair, if you walked into GameStop with a big ass sniper rifle like yours and you told them you want more money for your trade-ins, they would probably give you more money for your trade-ins.
They would probably give you more money for your trade-ins and then call the police.
They'd probably give me the GameStop because they should, because why would they value that GameStop over their own selves?
I know, right? I'm like, yeah, just take whatever you want, man. I really don't care.
Everywhere I've worked has said, like, yeah, if someone comes in and robs you, just give them the money because it does.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
What are you defending? Like, no.
Oh, your life is worth more than $500.
It will cost them more to pay for legal fees and medical fees than it will for whatever they're taking. Yeah.
In any case, is that what's the consensus here on the
deal?
sale?
I mean, that's still 34,000 credits we didn't have before.
Yeah.
For,
I quietly
yeah.
whispered to McGowan that we're completely fine with that.
Yeah, and McGowan has no issues with that.
All right, I'm glad to hear it. Now, give me just a minute, and I'll transfer the money to your account so we can conclude our business. And let it be known that if you come across any more contraband like this, I'm always happy to talk deals.
Well,
from now on, you'll be talking
As are
deals
we,
with
sir.
Reya.
Works for me. I'm happy to do
If we
business
find anything
with,
else, we will bring it your way.
I'm happy. Yes, and I'm happy to do business with any rational, reasonable people. So here, just let me take care of this for you. And he pulls up his Omni tool, and whose account am I transferring this to?
Mine.
And this would just be to give to somebody, and that person would then be able to divvy it up amongst the group.
I ain't group
All right,
party money
Krogan.
leader. No way.
All right, Krogan. You got 34,000 credits in your account. So Tork, go ahead and keep track of that however you want to. You've got 34,000 credits.
I would just immediately divide it between all of us.
Okay. So you just gotta
8,500. I already did the math.
How many?
8,500 each.
Well, there you go.
Does this Omni tool have a calculator?
If your Omni tool doesn't have a calculator, I think you might need to get an upgrade, friend.
Thanks.
Just doing what I can. Now, unless there's anything else, I'm a very busy man. I've got lots of work to do, and I think we've concluded our business for now. So if you don't mind, please leave.
Reya's already gone.
Yeah, motions at the door. Yep. Yeah, so you guys, your business concluded. You head back outside, and standing around your Mako, you know, you've got, by this time it's 6:30-ish, 7 o'clock. So there's still, at this time it's dark has come now by this time in winter. But you know, you guys have a few hours left if you want to poke around a little bit more, or you can call it a night. It's up to you guys.
We could go to a tavern and poke around in a tavern.
Can't hear
Oh, we
you.
can't go to a tavern.
I'd help if I turn the mute off. Did we figure out how much for each of us that we gained from that?
8,500.
Okay, 8,500. Past that.
At this point in time, the night is getting dark and the winter gets cold. We should find particular shelter and a place that you could socialize and or gain leads. We still have several days until the arena event where we get to go through. We could try to capture some bounties, but at this point in time for the night, we should find a place to sit and network.
Sounds like an excellent plan.
Yes, very well. We'll follow your lead.
And you guys already have rooms rented at Grease
Grease.
Place, so you can just make your way back there. Easy enough. Again, the Mako doesn't fit, but you're able to park it close enough by. Some finding a place to park the Mako permanently is maybe something to look into, but it's not terribly far away. It's just like a couple blocks, and it's a big kind of junky looking thing, so it may not be, it may be fine where it is. It's up to you guys if you want to find another place to park it or whatever, but
For now, it's fine.
okay, yeah, easy enough. So yeah, you make your way back to Grease. You come back. Those 4 guards are still sitting around. The Krogan, the Drell, and the 2 humans. At this time, though, it looks like the Drell and the Krogan are taking their naps, basically, sitting in the benches, kind of their eyes closed. The 2 humans are sitting up at the bar, and the man with the gray on his temples and the dark mustache holds up a drink as you enter, having seen you guys come and go a few times now.
Cute.
Evening, friends.
And
Good
you?
evening.
We're just killing time here, winding things down, keeping an eye out. Get anything done today?
We ran some errands, nothing special.
Easy enough. I can't imagine that the job you ran for Wayland was very difficult, so having a few days in between getting shot at, it's always a nice little break, I find.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. I kind of miss it already.
Yeah, well, there is something appealing about the adrenaline that you get. It starts pumping through you when you get into a firefight.
There's nothing like
Are you a fighter yourself?
Doing all right. Try to stay out of trouble as much as I can, but somebody's got to keep an eye on things and chase off the riffraff when need be, and he pats a pistol that he has holstered on his hip, a big hand cannon, white,
Cool.
blue. It's kind of contoured rather than it being kind of very heavily angular. It also doesn't look like a pistol, like many of the weapons in.
It looks personalized.
It doesn't look personalized. It just it looks not even unique, but it does stand out because most of the weapons that you run into are pretty like angular, and they'll have like seams and kind of parts that collapse in on themselves so that they can be stored and like full packed easier. This weapon doesn't appear to have anything like that. It looks like a really nice, like big heavy pistol.
Do I recognize the
I
model?
think what pistol do you have?
I have the Phalanx.
Which is it's the same pistol that you have.
Okay.
Big, heavy, slow firing, but packs a hell of a punch.
The most powerful pistol in the world.
Yeah. This is a 44. This is an M5 Phalanx. The most powerful pistol in the galaxy.
Nice.
I don't actually know if it's the most powerful pistol in the galaxy, but it is a serious looking weapon.
I started with the Phalanx. I doubt it's the.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy duty looking gun though. It's bigger than like the Carnifex or like the Predator that you have, Reya.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, it seems like you share an affinity for the same gun as our dear party member McGowan.
Yeah, well, it's a reliable piece of hardware, you know. It saved my life more than a few times.
Always gets the job done.
He kind of, you know, gives you a nod and kind of a tip of his glass, McGowan.
Well, after a successful day, I offer to buy a round for ourselves and our new friends at the
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, and Sky, Waylon's wife, she's the Turian female. She's working behind the bar, and she'll pour you all drinks. They're really cheap here. The booze is not that great. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not like high-end liquor. It's serviceable. It gets you drunk, and it has a taste that is tolerable. And a whole round for everybody would be like, the money scaling is a little weird in Mass Effect. It would be like,
Just says price per item, quantity, and then or whatever. So
yeah, well, it's just because like it's, you know, the way that I'm trying to think here, it'd be probably like 12 credits for a round.
and there's like 7
So
people here.
It'd be the 3 of you that drink, and then there's a Krogan and a Drell who are sleeping or napping anyways, and then the 2 humans. So there's 5 of you that are awake that are
So
not
60?
working. Yeah, about that. 60 for the whole thing, something like that.
Sweet.
But yeah, there's conversation to be had if you'd like. Otherwise, I can call it an evening. It's up to you guys.
Finishing my. There we go.
At this point in time, we still have several days until the arena event, and even more time past that before we be able to go through and deal with the Promethean artifact. The sooner we get to rest, the sooner we can go through and earn extra money before the Promethean artifact.
Mm-hmm.
Prothean. Promethean is aliens.
I mean, so are Protheans.
Right, yeah, aliens.
I mean, so are Protheans.
Well, I mean, aliens as in like the Ridley Scott movies.
Yes.
As in the film franchise.
Yes. Correcting myself. Alpha will pass on that whenever the biologicals that need sleep are ready, we still have enough time to go through and do an additional bounty or 2 for additional income before the equipment that we would need from our contact would get to us for the Prothean artifact.
Yeah, he said he might have some more work for you in a couple of days. So again, it's a little bit of a loose time frame, but you've got one more full day before.
Yeah, he did state that there are bounties at like the government center or something like that we could do.
Yeah, the magistrate's office.
Yes.
Which is near the center of town.
Okay, let's get some rest and we can hit up the magistrate's office in the morning.
Yeah. So
Sounds good to me.
Alpha and Omega will head back to the room that we have with McGowan, find our charging corners, and then just park it for the night.
Charging corners.
I mean, you need to ingest. We create our own spoons. I'm not saying which one is more efficient, the Geth, but you go through and like we understand that you need to do what you need to do.
No one's a better big spook than Gambok Tork. Big spook.
Oh.
Yes, we are all in agreement. Let's head for the night and then start off on a bounty tomorrow.
Yeah, McGowan will buy himself another drink and then go to bed.
Okay. Tork, Reya, anything you two want to do before calling it a night?
Clean my gun.
Easy enough. Yeah.
Pre-bed routine.
Hello.
I mean, if you're smart,
I prefer to clean my gun in the morning, but
Well, I mean, it depends on when you use it.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you clean it after you use it, your gun is ready for you the next time you want.
Depends on what you did during the day, you know. If it's like really late at night, and the gun is like really filthy, you don't want to go to sleep with the gun all dirty. You know, you want to clean it off before you lay down in bed. But if it's like, if it's kind of a whatever day, you can wait till morning.
Yep. Double check the batteries.
Rhea's
make sure they're
definitely
still
like
good.
a late night shower person, so it's like she cleans the gun, late night shower,
Mhm.
go to bed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right.
She
Yeah, easy
cleans
enough.
her gun in
Um,
the shower?
No,
Well,
she cleans her
it's-
gun, but then because she's dirty, then she takes a shower. But it's the last thing she has to do.
Yeah, understand this. She just finished up spending her time with the tentacle monster. Now she's going to clean her gun, take a shower, and go to bed.
Yes.
Anyways, so yeah, you guys, easy enough. By the time you go to sleep, it's it's like 9 o'clock, and you wake up nice and early. Depending on how late you guys want to stay up. You got back to Grease about 8. So I mean, depending on how long you guys want to stay up, it's up to you. But
I mean, if it's only 9 o'clock, like even now, I'm like going to bed at 9 o'clock makes me feel bad. Like I need to stay up drinking or something like that till at least like 9:30.
it's up to you guys. How late do you want to stay up? Because that will affect what time you wake. The time.
Well, I was
Your
gonna
day
say
starts
we can
tomorrow.
Okay,
wake up
never mind.
super early tomorrow and just get started.
Yeah, McGowan's gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, so if you guys get an 8-hour sleep and you guys are up at the crack of dawn at about 5 o'clock in the morning, still
Fuck yeah.
still dark outside. Actually, if you guys wake up that early, but yeah, if you wake up and kind of reconvene down in the main room, at this point you see the shifts seemingly have switched. Now the Drell and the Krogan are both awake again, and the two humans are kind of kicked back on some benches, resting. Yeah, you guys reconvene in the main room of the tap, and it's time to decide what you want to do with your day. Go over some. If I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Really, at this point in time, we still have a couple days before we could go through and do the arena event that we signed up for. So we were gonna kind of fill up the time with like bounties for the magistrate, which probably isn't open yet. But while they're going through and getting breakfast at 5:30 in the morning, Alpha and Omega will go through and start looking at our vehicle and just make sure everything's cleaned and anything they do to.
That's another thing.
repair
Your vehicle does need maintenance. It has not been repaired since you took all that damage.
Okay.
So that's something you need to do. And I would say at the magistrate's office, there's a bounty board. So you wouldn't have to go into the building to inquire. There would be like a job posting board kind of outside, just in the town square, not just for the magistrate's office, but for other odd jobs and stuff. It would be just like a job board basically outside the building.
So as everybody wakes up, Alpha Omega will talk to McGowan.
We will go through and take our transport to a nearby repair facility and work on repairing any damage that we've sustained.
Hi, this is
While you
Steven
gather with the other
from,
biologicals,
the
go
Metro
through
Heating
and
and
consume
Cooling
your mass
electrician job.
consumables, and then let me know when you want to meet at the magistrate's office to gather the next bounty.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oops, sorry, you
And
broke
then
up
while
there.
they're
Sounds
ready
good
and
to
so-
me.
While they're getting ready and eating breakfast and so forth, we'll go through and we'll take the transport and we'll find a garage
Yep,
or something like
we'll be
that
home
that we
tomorrow.
can use or we can rent and go through and start working on repairing it.
Vericor's place
Tomorrow
is
morning?
also like a repair
Sounds good.
shop, so you can take it back there.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just go through and we'll just work on
Yeah,
that while
that's
everybody's doing their own thing.
Okay, and that would probably run you.
Great, just give a call before
It'd probably
you come in.
take. I mean, to do all. How much damage does the Mako take, McGowan? What's the hit points on it currently?
That sounds good.
Wait a bit. Let me see here.
I know it took a decent amount of damage, so
So-
it'll take a few hours to repair.
It is down at 94 from 121.
Okay, so probably take, I would say, just sort of going with my gut here. I'd say it's probably about a $10,000 repair job plus, or 10,000 credit repair job plus like 4 hours of labor. So it would be something where you drop it off and you could come back and pick it up later.
Well, no, I was just going to go work on it myself. I just want to.
Oh, sure. Okay, well, if that's the case, it's going to be an Omnigel cost to it. So instead of 10,000, I'd say
10,000 Omnigel.
You would need probably like 12 or 15 Omnigel to make the full repairs.
Okay, I have 12 Omnigel. Like, would that be enough, or do I need to buy more?
I'd say 15.
Okay.
No, 12. 12's okay. 12's okay. 12's fine.
Okay. Well, in that case, then I will use the Omnigel that I have, and then just whatever the cost is to rent the space and the tools.
Okay. So it'd be 12 Omnigel with 4 hours of work, plus we'll say like 2,500 credits just to use rent the equipment for a few hours. It's not too expensive for the equipment use since Grom doesn't have to do any of the work himself. Save me a bit of time. That's good. Although I've never seen a dog fix a truck before, so this could be kind of interesting. I might sit back and watch.
I'll shift into bipedal form.
You're welcome to watch as long as you need to. I do not find this particular kink offensive.
That's a neat trick. That's a neat trick. Never really done much maintenance with the Geth before. I might pick up a few things if you don't mind me watching. And he stays out of your way while you do the work, but occasionally he'll come up and kind of inspect what you're doing. And
you are more than welcome to come and assist with us so you can see how the Geth repair.
I'm not going to lift a finger. If you're not paying me, I'm not lifting a finger, but I might take a look at what you're doing.
Fair enough.
Costs money to watch.
I'll Omni relay back to McGowan, but it'll be about 4 hours to repair the Mako.
Okay. So meanwhile,
Excellent.
back at Grease Tap, the remaining the three others of you, what are you guys doing?
Well,
So
I guess that depends on what you two are doing, because I have a general idea of what I might do, but I want to know what you all are doing.
Well, I would go downstairs and have breakfast, and if the other two come and join me, that's one thing. Otherwise, I just eat breakfast by myself.
I would
feel like-
join for breakfast.
I feel like Reya's actually pretty thrilled to be up at like 5 a.m. Like, I feel like she'd be into that. So yeah, she's definitely ready for breakfast. She's ready to go.
Yeah, Tork comes down, but a little bit after.
Tork's the last
He's a
one
little
to
sleepy
join.
boy.
He comes down at about 6:30. Yeah. Everybody else is down there at 6.
And he's like, "What do you mean they're out of waffle batter?"
Oh, dang it! I missed all the orange juice.
Oh, no,
man.
don't tell me I slept
There's
through
only-
brunch.
The frosted flakes are crumbs.
What kind of like breakfast place runs out of orange juice at 6:30?
A place that
6:30
charges
in the
5
morning.
credits a night for a room.
It's
Continental
fresh
breakfast,
squeezed, and the
you
dude is
said?
mad lazy.
It's the kind of place that keeps 1 pint of orange juice, like 1/2 gallon of orange juice on hand.
Like for too long.
Yeah. And it's like the from concentrate stuff, so it's not even as good.
Like
They just
separates
keep
and
putting
settles
water
to the
into
bottom.
the
Yes.
gallon. By the time you get it, it's like orange flavored water.
This is no longer orange juice. This is orange drink.
Orange drink. Oh my
If
god.
they even could get oranges on a planet like this.
It's just
Probably
orange.
sometimes, probably a little bit of stuff like that from trade, but this is definitely not a tropical.
That's why they ran out. Is because
Yeah,
he only
it's-
has like 2 oranges on the whole
it's-
planet.
It's like $15 a gallon. It's like super expensive. It's like
We're
a
just
deli.
casually ordering OJ. It's like a super rarity.
Yeah, they
Like,
won't get it. They won't get any more of it for 6 months.
I don't know. This group of adventurers came in. They all ordered orange juice. It was insane.
When does that ever happen?
Oh
orange
my
juice
gosh.
looks good. I'll have that.
Tork drinks all of it.
That'll be 300 credits. Excuse
Yeah,
me?
seriously. 5,000 credits, please.
Worth it.
Yeah, what are you guys doing while you talking over stuff while you're eating breakfast, I presume?
I just sit down and say, well, I'm ready to get back at it whenever you want. Let's go find some bounties and shoot some guns. That's what I'm here for.
Well, Alpha and Omega have the vehicle over at Vericore Grounds. It's going to take about 4 hours to get it fixed up. Then they'll meet us over.
So you have something to do for 4 hours, and you have something to do for 4 hours.
I don't have anything to do for 4 hours.
Oh. Well, no, I'm interested in, if possible, learning about a bit of the hierarchy of the town or the politics of this area.
Okay, I mean, you can go ahead and make a history check, Reya, since you've been here for a few days. So you've picked up a few things, but you definitely have, if you want to inquire further, you could definitely do that as well.
Can I do insight over history?
Insight, I treat more as like reading people,
Okay,
so it's
fine.
like body language and stuff like that. Whereas the history is more just kind of like general local.
Dirty
information.
20.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and Tork, we did a little bit of this last time too, so you're kind of on the same page with this. So there's the places you've already been. So there's Grease Tap here, which is kind of the discrete hub of the Smugglers Guild network on Omara. There is the White Star Cafe. Obviously that's kind of Jado Kinsall and it loosely affiliated with the Red Corsairs. The Red Corsairs, you are aware of the fact that they're kind of a loose organization rather than like an organized military. It's sort of like a bunch of pirate captains that all sort of, they work together a little bit and they sort of have agreements about things, and it's mostly a way to avoid major conflict between them, but they still vie for power and have politics, and there's still conflicts among those captains. So there's a presence of that here a little bit with Jado Kinsall. And the different captains have different rules, different moral compasses. So there's really no telling like how shady Jado is necessarily without getting further into business with him. He may be, just doing what he's doing, but there's also, the Red Corsairs are not above slave trading. So, there's a wide spectrum of stuff that they do. There's the magistrate's office. He's kind of the Magistrate Danvers. He's the mayor / sheriff, basically. Runs security, keeps the town safe, kind of oversees town meetings and stuff when people need to discuss local problems. He's the guy who posts bounties and does all that stuff. There is the LMD, whose large building you went by once before early on, I think in our very first session. It's been around for a very long time. It's been here for a number of years. The whole time you've been here for a couple of weeks, I think we talked about, couple of days, if nothing else. It's been hustling and bustling. It's very busy. And according to local chatter, it's a recent development. It's last few months is okay. And I think the only other major, and just to clarify, the magistrate is in charge of the town militia. So it's kind of a volunteer defense force for the city.
Okay.
And then the only other group really of note is the Chapel of the Omnis, which is an outpost of the it's an outpost of a techno religion. They're not people who like actively try and convert others necessarily. It's not like this huge cultural monolithic thing that dominates the region, but they're very interested in old technology, and so they're often associated with sort of scholarly pursuits, expeditions into uncharted regions of space. They're explorers and seekers of old tech, from either like the current species before the Reaper War, or even before that, going as far back as like the Protheans and the few bit scraps of things that are left from the people before even the Protheans. And you would know with that role that some of them are known to modify and augment their bodies with machinery and technology, and like replacing limbs and sensory organs and stuff.
Okay.
That's about it. That's pretty much all you'd be aware. I guess you'd be aware there's Vericor's Barter and Surplus. Some of the other stores around here. The Vericor's Barters and Surplus, Delzino's Market, which is like a general store. The group everybody's been to McCracken's Firearms, which is a gun shop run by like a hunter lady named Carolyn McCracken. And then
I love that.
And then there's the hangar, Bachi Hangar, which is kind of the main point of transit for people traveling to and from the city by ship. And it's where all of you would have entered into the city from arriving on the planet. So it's a very busy place. There's lots of little market stalls, lots of travelers. And it's run by, we met her McGowan and Alpha met her very briefly, a kind of Batarian woman who's not too dissimilar in her demeanor from Roz from Monsters, Inc. I don't know if it's a plant, but I love that. I love that movie. It's like my favorite Pixar movie. So there's accidentally a lot of Monsters, Inc. characters in my games.
Yo, that happens, and they're adorable. So.
Monsters, Inc. is great.
Well, we've got two.
I want to be. What's her name? Is it Cynthia? What's her name?
No.
I want to be her.
Her name was.
She's so cute. Yeah,
her name was Garel Quay.
No, I think we're not. You're not talking about the same person.
Oh, okay. I was like, no, it wasn't.
No, that's the name of the lady at the hangar. But yeah, that's kind of, those are like the major things around town. Obviously, like now, I guess you also are aware of the location of Vagrant's Pit, which is like an underground fighting pit thing.
I mean, that sounds kind of dope. Can we go there?
You guys went there. You went there in our last session.
Yeah,
and you guys
there.
are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which reminds me, go ahead and subtract 25,000 credits from your credit total because you guys all bought into a tournament.
Yeah. While you weren't here, we signed you up for a tournament.
It had a buy-in, but there's a chance to win a much bigger prize. So
you were really enthused about it.
Did not win. I'm assuming.
All cheering.
No, we guys haven't. No, we haven't participated yet because it's
signed you up for
the
it.
day has not been formally declared yet. It's an upcoming event.
Because the DM wanted you to be back for the session.
And we're all cheering
That's not
for you
why. Don't put that on me.
Because we're definitely not going to tell you that we all signed up for it. We're only going to tell you that you signed up for it.
Yeah.
And technically, I don't know if we caught this last time, but Alpha, you technically wouldn't have had to pay if you did because you're disguised. So they would have just assumed that you're like robot attack dogs.
I'm adding 25 grand back on.
So yeah, so you wouldn't have had to pay for that. They never
because they associate me with McGowan. Thank you, McGowan.
Yeah, you think you guys are just kind of like cybernetic attack dogs. So you would have kind of like skated under that. At least for now, remains to be seen if
service dogs.
Right. Yes. Military service dogs.
The service you provide is killing people.
Murder.
Explosive. I would describe it as explosive.
I would describe it more as just the we deal with the living impaired.
All right.
Impaired, or it's getting into the weeds. The name you were looking for was Celia, by the way.
Celia? Oh,
yeah.
The Celia.
You're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence daily.
Is this a song?
Anyways, so what's you guys are still figuring out what we're trying to do here.
Oh, that's true.
We got off on a bit of a tangent, but that's okay.
What? What? No.
Us? Never.
We don't do that.
So what?
So focused.
What do
I
you guys
mean,
do?
it might be worth it while we have some time to stop into the shops that we haven't yet, just to see if there's any information we could get while waiting. Otherwise, I'm down to clown.
I didn't come here to shop. I came here to shoot.
It's not
And there
usually
might
a
be a
Well,
good
buyer.
idea
we have to
shoot
find the
up
right
center
things
of
to shoot
town.
first.
So let's go to the bounty board.
Didn't we discuss that it wasn't open yet?
No,
No,
I mean it's one of those things where it's out in public. It's like out in front of the building, so it's not like you could go there at
Oh, it's
any
just like a
time
little
of day.
post-it wall.
Yeah, it's like a job, like a local job board. It wouldn't just be for bounties. It would be
Lost
for
cat or kill a
Yeah.
beholder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard.
Don't
We
get
should-
the two. Don't get the two mixed up. Lost beholder, kill the cat.
Yeah,
We
don't.
should wait until Alpha and Omega have.
We're in radio
Joined
contact,
us.
so
Oh.
we're gonna keep working on that. And
Yeah,
we're
you guys can
assuming that
always-
we're gonna join
can
whatever
always
you guys
chat.
do.
Chat via
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah, so you guys figure out what bounty we're gonna take while I'm working on the Mako.
Yeah, so you guys want to head to the bounty board? It sounds like.
Yeah, the BB.
All right, so not too far of a walk into the town. The town only takes probably about an hour and a half if we were to walk it all the way on foot across. It's not huge. So it's like a 30-40 minute walk through the town. In the very early morning, it's very quiet and very peaceful here. There are a few people kind of heading to work, and you see some cars and some pack animals moving through the streets. People bundled up against the cold, and in the night, or rather in the morning without the sun up yet, it is very cold out here. It's not below 0, but it is, if it's like high 20s during the day, it's below 10 at night. So it's pretty cold out. Fortunately, all your armor
Ready to
and
buy
stuff.
like a cool jacket? Oh,
No, your armor and stuff all has environmental, basic environmental systems built into it. For more extreme conditions, you might need more protection, but for stuff like this, it's fine. You make your way, kind of trudging through the snow. It didn't snow all day yesterday, so the snow is kind of getting dirty and getting trampled and melting where there's lots of traffic. So the roads are kind of muddy, but you eventually find yourself standing out in the town square, and the magistrate's office is a big square building, 3 stories tall. It's one of the bigger buildings in town. It's a big it's like a big square, basically, just kind of plop down. There are a set of stairs kind of going up to the front where there's a number of what there would be like 6 or what would be 3, I guess, open, like kind of sliding doors, 3 sets of sliding doors at the top. And there are lights on inside. This is basically a police precinct, so it's not like it ever really closes. But there are times of day where it is more or less active. And so you do see some people, presumably local militia, kind of walking up and down the stairs, coming and going. And the job board is sitting out in front of it, and the square is kind of arranged. It's more of a circle than it is a square, with this magistrate's building kind of at the head of it, and there's smaller buildings are right around with streets kind of radiating out. There's a small garden kind of arrangement in the center. It's nothing super extravagant or particularly colorful because it's a lot of tundra flowers, so it's a lot of smaller flowers that are like purples and blues and oranges. And there's some trees kind of mixed in there. It's a nice little kind of public space with some benches and stuff. You do see what looks to be a homeless Batarian sleeping on one of the benches, kind of curled up, a hood pulled up over all 4 of his eyes, and he's just kind of laying there as you walk by. And walking up to the bounty board, or the job board, a lot of it is, like you're saying, it's like lost pets, people looking for somebody to do some odd jobs for a couple of days, but for what you're looking for, more mercenary oriented work, you find 3 things catch your eye. There's a job labeled Behir Hunt, one labeled Red Corsair Activity, and another labeled Caravan Escort. And looking them over, the Bahir Hunt, which has a bounty code 00015776. You see each of them has like a many digits number kind of attached to it. And those of you who've been doing mercenary work for a while, McGowan, Reya, I think in particular, you're aware that these bounty codes are kind of the universal way. You basically punch the code into your Omni tool, and that is your way of accepting the job.
Yeah.
The Bahir Hunt, the first one, it says, "Attention, brave hunters and skilled gunmen. Magistrate Danvers has placed a bounty on the head of the Bahir that has been terrorizing the local farms beyond the city limits. Dozens of livestock, acres of land, and even residents. The bounty can be collected from Magistrate Danvers' office. 100,000 Galactic Standard credits for proof of the kill. Proof must be provided to collect the bounty."
Whoa.
The Red Corsair activity is bounty code 00022782. Magistrate Danvers is offering to pay any citizen 5,000 Galactic Standard credits for the badges of any members of the Red Corsair pirate band. 60,000 Galactic Standard credits to any soul who kills their leader, the Krogan Malcolm Grawl, and returns with proof of the deed. And the third bounty that has caught your attention, the Caravan Escort, is bounty code 00022865. Looking for a gunman to escort and protect my caravan en route to Lausanne, which is a village not too far from the city. The road is too dangerous to travel without protection. I can pay 50,000 Galactic Standard credits to any gunslingers or mercenaries willing to sign up at my shop, Delzino's Market.
Okay.
Okay.
Which one sounds good to you guys? We did just fix up our Mako.
The only one that I wouldn't be interested in taking is the Red Corsair one. The Red Corsairs aren't particularly cohesive as a unit, but we have a minor business relationship with one of their captains.
Why don't we take the first one and go kill a critter?
Could do that. Well, that one may not be. We could also ask when the caravan is leaving from Delzino's. We could do both, potentially.
Okay. Somebody write down the numbers to accept the bounties.
Yeah, I mean, the bounties are, you don't actually need the numbers, but you can write them down if you want to. And I can just repeat it to you, whoever wants to keep track of whatever's going on.
I'm also keeping track of inventory, so I can keep track of that too.
Okay.
Sick.
So for the Bahir Hunt,
How do you spell Bahir?
Behir.
Would I know what that is?
Make a nature check. But McGowan, the bounty code is 0001576.
I don't have a nature stat.
That's right, because it's Mass Effect and they changed some of the stuff. Give me just a second.
Because there's no nature in space.
Because with the whole, the rule book formats things like basically everything is going to be a combat scenario. So,
No RP involved.
well, there's RP, but it's all like onboard ships and stuff, and it's not really. So give me just a second here. I need to find.
And the RP is.
I think what I've decided to do for this stuff is just use like your wisdom modifier, because it's not actually a skill. But let me check and see if there's anything that might work. I would say if you would like to make a survival check, you could do that, because like survival could be drawing upon your knowledge of flora and fauna.
Okay, I get a +5 to survival, so I'm into it. Fucking 13 total.
Bahir. No, you've never heard of this creature. it's it sounds like it's a big predator of some kind, but they're not on Tachanka, and they've not been on any of the other planets that you've visited, and especially considering that it's been until recently quite some time since you've been off of Tachanka. This is not a creature you've ever encountered.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to find out what it is.
What was the code for the caravan escort?
0002865.
2865, you said?
Mm-hmm. Give me just a second. I want to make sure I'm not missing any information that would be attached once you accept the bounty, because these are just the basic job information, and by accepting the bounty, I think you might get a little bit more irrelevant. Yes, you do. So when you accept the bounty, McGowan, you're the first to see it, since you're the first one who punches your number in here. Relevant information is transmitted to your Omni tools. And so whoever's taking notes, most of the sightings of this creature occur to the east along the Goru Mountains. And so the Goru Mountains are the mountains that Port Fulstone is kind of nestled against, but it seems like it's taking place further east down the range. The Bahir, it's large enough to smash aside prefab walls and thick trees. Can carry off at least up to 3 Tanal at a time in its claws and its jaws. And Tanal are horse-sized. They're horse-sized gazelle or antelope, I think is maybe the best way to explain them. So they're pretty big. It leaves numerous 3-clawed claw marks, and its belly drags where it goes. So it's pretty easy to track. And it lairs in the mountains because these types of creatures, which are native to Omara, which is why, Tork, you've not heard of them before. They like to lair in craggy, rocky places where they can use cliff sides. They're excellent climbers.
Oh, yes, the craggy walls.
And the nearest village to the area, if there's any information that you think you need to gather before heading out and taking on the hunt, the nearest village is called Sarao, Sarao, where the locals have dealt with this creature more than any of the other, settlements in the region. It'll say Sarao is about a 10-hour trip away, so it's quite a ways.
And that was not the village that the escort was going to?
No, the escort was going to the village of Losan, which is actually in the it's not in the opposite direction, but it is not in that direction. Let me get you the exact. Where did I put this information? Let's see, sorry. God, I've completely lost all of the information that I had up. Where did the...
Covering your mouth with your hand definitely makes it so that we can't hear those.
Let's see. Why can't I find this? I'm trying to. I was just working on this earlier today, and now I can't find it. It's northwest of town. So you went, I believe it was south to get to the LMD camp. So this is almost in kind of the opposite direction. towards the town with the caravan.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we could be super duper efficient, but it sounds like not.
You accepted you accepted the bounty for the contract for the convoy too, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Yeah, it's a farming town northwest of Port Fulstone. It's about a day's drive, and the job is primarily to escort a shipment truck to town to trade, to make like a prearranged trade and drive it back. And if you stop whatever has been creating this trade difficulty, the Delzino is offering an additional 25,000 credits for proof that it's been put to a stop.
Okay.
Well, maybe we talk to Delzino. See if they're willing to wait a few days before the shipment goes out and take care of this Behir, come back and do that. I think this
Very
Behir
well.
hunt's gonna take a little while. Or we could wait for the Behir. The only problem is the Behir might show up and kill a few more people.
I want to fight the Behir. Just to mix things up.
And, you know, we're communicating with Alpha this whole time as well.
Yeah, can you guys Behir me?
No.
Damn you! Left me hanging.
I said no.
Based off the vocal range of your voice and your implied inflection, I believe that you were expecting a laugh to this. Ah, 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 ah.
Thank you,
And laugh.
Alpha. Thank you. So do you guys want to go check out this Behir or what? Come on.
I think we should, but we should stop by Delzino's first to let them know that we have accepted the contract, but cannot immediately fulfill it.
All right, then let's
Do
go.
they have any advice for the contract?
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Do.
Yes.
Traveling music montage.
Yeah, so it's it's not too far away. It's 15 minutes or so walk from the job board to get to Delzino's. Delzino's it's basically like a big grocery store. It's like a tall single-story building, very wide, much wider than it is tall. And at this time of day, by now it's after 7, so the store is open by now. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of traffic, a lot of people coming and going. But you step inside, and it's a it's a rather large store. On the east side of town, so 30 feet tall, maybe 100 feet wide. It's painted like a brick red color with a single horizontal yellow stripe wrapping around the entire building, it looks like. The neon sign, this is like a neon sign, not a hard light sign. It's more old-fashioned. Above the automatic double doors reads Delzino's Mar, and then the K and the E are, they're broken, and the T is flickering. There's no guards or anything, doesn't look like. And when you walk inside, you see a few other people like looking around, and there's definitely like kind of elevator music sort of playing, background noise over the sound system in here. I'm taking a look around. This is not like Vericor's place. Everything in all the goods in here are new. There's not a lot of used stuff to be seen. They're neatly organized as well, which is another big difference from Grom's, where everything was sort of in a weird state of organized chaos. Where things were labeled, but not really sorted into fine categories. You see a handful of employees, locals, presumably kind of working away, stocking shelves, sweeping or mopping the floor. And but behind kind of the main checkout counter, which would be to basically as you walk in, it's almost immediately to your right. You see a massive Elcor, standing on all fours, huge, thick forearms, like kind of almost standing on them like a gorilla, knuckles folded, using their fists to kind of balance the front. More of a contour into a head into the shoulders rather than there being like a separate head and neck. Little beady black eyes, smaller back legs that are bent forward and backward. They have the kind of the digigrade dog legs, but they're short. They're proportionally much shorter, but they're also much stockier. And at the mouth is kind of like a series of horizontal flaps more than it is like a human mouth or something like that.
Horizontal flaps?
Yep. It's kind of like it's a single structure. It's almost like gills, but for the mouth a little bit. And across the back, it has it's like a big green and blue patterned cloth that looks sort of like the Elcor equivalent of it's like their kind of clothing. These are big creatures. They don't, this is kind of like their way of wearing clothes to personalize themselves and make themselves stand out. Because Elcor, almost more than any other race, except for the species that live primarily within envirosuits, which these days is mostly the Volus, they look almost identical. It's very difficult to tell individual Elcor apart. But they're kind of standing there looking around. With the Elcor, because they don't have like a neck and their shoulders kind of form into their head, it's hard to tell body language, and especially as well too, it's common knowledge that Elcor primarily use pheromones to communicate with their own species. Pheromones and very subtle body language that other species are unable to really pick up on. But this guy's standing there, and as you walk in, you hear his very deep, monotone Elcor voice. "Hello, customers. Please feel free to browse my wares. Everything is new and unspoiled. If you have any questions, please let me or one of my employees know."
Very well, thank you.
I'm just gonna head up to the Elcor.
I'll follow.
"Greetings, human and Asari. What can I do for you?" And the Elcor is speaking in the way that Elcor generally kind of have a tough time communicating with people, because when they do vocalize, they have no emotional inflection in their voice. So oftentimes they will preface what they're saying by stating the way that they intend what they're about to say to be taken. That being said, that can be used to manipulate. It's not there. It doesn't mean that they're honest in the way that they're communicating, but they will preface the information they're about to convey by saying to you like pleasant greeting or something, just to sort of preface the way that they want you to interpret what they're saying.
Truthfulness, I enjoy you being one of my customers. Sarcasm, I also enjoy your money.
So you guys walk up and he greets you in his monotone.
I assume you're the person who put the bounty up about the caravan escort.
Pleasant surprise. Indeed. Are you here to inquire about the escort job, then?
Yes, we are.
Satisfied relief. That is good to hear.
Calm down, Ray.
Was there anything I could tell you?
Well, when were you hoping to make this run?
As soon as possible. I have no way to fly my cargo to Lausanne, and I have already lost 3 trucks on this road in the last month. There is no finish time, but the sooner this can be dealt with, the better. If I do not sell these goods to the town, I will lose 30% of my monthly profits.
That is significant.
Have many other crews besides ours accepted the bounty?
No, I
And
have
made
not.
it?
I have not found anyone interested in accepting my offer.
Is that due to fear of the nature, like the content of your bounty, or just low payment, or what's up?
Sincere in unsurety. I do not
Oh.
know. The bounty has been posted for some time.
Oh.
Well, you can speak.
We have a Bahir that we want to go mess with. If we can get that finished soon enough, then we can do it later today. If not today, then it will have to be after our business is taken care of tomorrow.
Well, the Bahir is 10 hours away, so I doubt we're getting that done today.
Oh, yeah.
But there, like my companion said, there's a Bahir that's been causing some problems in Sorrow. Will probably take at least 2, probably 3 days, would be my guess. And then we would be available to escort the caravan.
Sincere acknowledgement. So long as you have accepted the job and promised to deal with it, it is better than any offer I have seen thus far.
Perfect.
Sweet. Yeah.
Do you sell grenades?
I do not sell explosives, but you can peruse my shelves for anything that might interest you. I have several kinds of Medigel, Omnigel, and other items that mercenaries such as yourselves might find useful that are not weaponry.
How many Medigel do you have?
I do not know exactly how many I have on hand. You would have to check the dispenser machines.
I think I need the Omni.
Omnigel is for repairing equipment. Omnigel is for equipment. Medigel is for healing, basically.
Yeah. So whoever's going over to the jelly dispenser, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, I'll take a look around.
Okay. Yes, walking through the shelves, you see there's 2 Metagel stations. There's about a dozen canisters of Omnigel for sale. There's a whole rack of Galaxy of Fantasy links. Galaxy of Fantasy being a very popular MMO on the extranet, and these are kind of subscription cards that you can find at like GameStop, basically. Those are selling for 200 credits a piece, so like $20 basically.
So who's ready to give up the mercenary life and just RP us, RPing our Galaxy of Fantasy characters?
Yes.
There are also 3 medical kits, a number of like lesser toolkits like painter's supplies and stuff.
We uncover an old game of Dungeons and Dragons that we play in the Mass Effect world.
Somehow it's like an original AD&D from like the 70s.
Yeah.
With the really, really weird art style inside those books. Man, it was such weird stuff. I had a friend in elementary school who had those books. It's a thing. Let me check people's. I want to check something real quick. Please load. Reya.
Yeah.
With your passive insight, when Delzino is speaking of perusing his wares, you can kind of tell that he's like holding something back. You don't know what it is, but you can just tell, like, again, even though he's an Elcor and his body language is very hard to read, you are, you are a trained escort, so you've got skills, very, very good interpersonal skills. You're able to read people's body language very well, and you got that passive insight of 17. So between that, you can kind of tell that he's not like avoiding telling you. Yeah, he's not lying, but there's like something. There's like a whole truth that isn't being revealed in terms of like in the context of what he has for sale.
So he does have grenades.
Well, yeah, I guess maybe I want to ask him I'm trying to think of the best way to do this without being super sketch. Be like, well, a man such as yourself needs a way to survive in times like this. I'm sure you don't just survive off Omnigel and Medigel and vending machines.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
14.
14.
First bad roll though.
He again, the body language is very subtle, but you've been trained to pick up on it a little bit. You can tell he's kind of like shifting his weight a little bit, and he's thinking. You can tell that he's thinking. He's weighing something in his mind, and after a moment he says, in a much more quiet voice, he says, what's the tone he's setting here?
It's harder when you have to describe your intentions first.
Yeah, especially when there's like really like it's nuance. There's a lot of nuance to it. He'll say, reserved confirmation. Indeed, since you have agreed to assist me with my caravan, I can show you some things that are not for sale to the general public. And he kind of turns his big Elcor forearms and turns his body and starts to slowly kind of walk behind the counter to like a back room. And when he gets to the back room, the door's open. He kind of looks over his shoulder, kind of you getting the gist to follow him and to kind of be discreet about it.
She's picking up what he's laying down.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So Reya, you're doing this while who's out looking at the other shelves and who's talking to Delzino?
Well, I was talking to Delzino.
Okay.
Where's Tork?
I was trying to figure out what my passive perception is.
Is that what
You're-
Tork is?
this is-
Tork trying to figure out what his passive perception is?
Your passive senses, I've got them in the Discord for quick reference, so you can just look there if you can't find it on your sheet. But yours is 15. This was an insight thing, so again, this was body language, whereas perception is like scanning your environment.
Oh, in my head I had it that I was going for the Metagel machine.
Okay. So while you're doing that, Tork, I'll say to the another thing you find while you're looking around, just because we skipped over this, you do find kind of in the same part of the store an auto gel armor mod for sale as well.
That's cool.
So you can go ahead and you can look up what that does in the equipment in the handbook.
Auto gel, 2 words.
One word. I believe what it does, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, is it lets you use a reaction to use a metagel after you've taken damage. So if somebody shoots you,
That's nice.
and you can use your reaction to then just pop an omnigel or a metagel quick.
Okay,
Mhm.
I picked that up with the intention of buying it.
Okay, and it's an armor mod, so it's like a little kind of device that would have to be implanted. And just to kind of, I mentioned it in our group chat the other day, but armor mods are a little more. It's more, especially if you're starting with stock armor, which you guys are. It's a little more complicated than just slap it on the armor. There's a lengthy process that is involved in it, so just bear that in mind. When it comes to mods, that there will be a time and resource requirement to install them. So just bear that in mind. Not that it's like super crazy. Right. Not that it's super crazy. I just don't want you thinking. Yeah, I don't want you to factor into your plans like, oh yeah, I can just put this mod on here quick. When you're making plans for the day and stuff, it helps to know that it'll take a while. So that's all. But it's
soldering iron.
It's 8,000 credits for that particular mod. I think. Let me double check.
I see.
Is that like the-
Yes, 8,000 credits for the auto gel. And for the metagel, you find there's 2 dispensers. A standard metagel, which generates no more than 6 charges a day. And each of those is 500 credits apiece. And there's an enhanced metagel station, which generates no more than 3 charges a day. And those are 750 credits apiece. And the enhanced metagel is an improvement over the standard, where the standard is 2d4 plus 2, enhanced is 4d4 plus 4.
Well, I'm just gonna buy out all of them.
Keep in mind, you have a maximum capacity for metagel as well. You have 4 metagel per person, unless you get upgrades. So
The upgraded metagels just take 1 metagel slot.
they don't take any more slots than normal, but you can only carry 4 on each of your persons.
4 of any type of metagel.
Yep, any kind.
Oh,
And there are armor mods and stuff like that you can get to increase that capacity. So
well, I'll buy 2 of the whatever they're called, the good ones.
the enhanced, so yeah, you've got 8,000 for
Enhanced.
the mod, 750
Isolate.
times 2. So I'm really bad at math, but we'll put that down. 750 times 2.
750 times 2 is 1,500. So
Okay,
I'm up to
and
9,500.
Yes. Anything else while you're looking around?
What other armor mods or weapon mods are there?
There's no other armor. Well, you don't find any more of that, and I suppose. So you don't find any more of that. So unless there's anything else you're looking for, that's actually a very good segue to to Reya and McGowan.
Well, what I was going to say is that I would have, seeing that this is kind of like a secret deal that nobody is supposed to know about, I was going to go make sure Tork doesn't be like, hey, where'd Reya go?
Oh, sure. Okay.
because I don't trust him to be subtle.
Okay, so in that case, Reya, you follow Delzino back into this back room, and he heads over and kind of uses his shoulder to nudge a panel of the wall, which pushes in, and you see the wall just a few feet over from that kind of insert and slide open, and you see a small it's like a big broom closet, and you can see that he's got some things for sale here, and he steps back and he looks down at you and says, excited demonstration. Please take a look at my special wares. And so you step forward and you see some stuff that's definitely not the stuff you saw on his shelves. There is an OmniTool program, TraceSignalJammer.exe, for 40,000 Galactic Standard credits. There is a barrel attachment for a gun that is an OmniBlade bayonet. It's the OmniBlade attachment. It's a barrel attachment for guns. It's for 15,000. There's an extended magazine gun upgrade for 27,000.
Ooh.
There are heavy weapon charges. There are 4 of them, which is ammo for heavy weapons, and each of those runs 75,000 credits apiece.
Damn.
Heavy weapons are very rare and very powerful, so they're not meant to be used all the time.
Interesting.
75,000 a pop
for each round. Yes.
Oh my god.
They're very expensive. They can look at how much damage some of the heavy weapons can do, though, and you'll understand why they're so expensive.
I don't even want to, because I'm never ever going to pay $75,000 for one round of ammunition.
You better not miss.
How many heavy weapon charges can a person carry?
Totally different question.
Literally, basically, it's called a lottery because you're just worth like millions of dollars once you have more than a few on you.
Yeah, but you also have a grenade launcher, so like
yeah,
you're
you can
welcome to
blow
come
up
fucking
tanks.
try.
You can blow up a spaceship with some of these things.
If you roll well.
Yeah, right.
I mean, some of these things do like 8d12 damage, so it's
if you roll well.
Yeah, don't fire it unless you have inspiration.
Let's see. I'm trying to find
like if it's like a guarantee, like they'll do this damage, and if they fail, they'll do double it or something. Sure, go ahead.
Well, I already got 3 free ones, so.
Damn.
We'll say 5.
Okay.
Dan, I'll see if I can find an official count on it, but for now we'll say 5.
You could sell those and buy one of everything.
Well, I don't have anywhere near enough money for it, so. But it's good to know that they're here.
And you also find he's got he has some grenades.
Yeah.
He has 6 Mark II arc grenades for 2,700 each.
Those are dope.
And he has 3 Mark I cluster grenades for the same price. And he has a M22 eviscerator shotgun for 26,000, and that's kind of his backroom stock.
Are we getting this through our Omni tools, or are we having to wait for Reya?
Reya is the only person who is aware of any of this at the moment.
I mean, I can't purchase anything on my own, so I'm going to have to relay the information, but I also don't want to upset this guy. Would you mind if I were to let my friends at least know what's back here? I don't necessarily have to make a big deal of bringing them back here, but
amiable consent. That is fine.
Cool. So I let y'all know through well, I guess I'll let one of you know telepathically so that you can tell each other and I don't have to. I always imagine the Omnitools are like walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
So
well,
if I
mean,
were to just
yeah,
be like, "Hey, I'm in the back room doing some sketch shit," it would just like come out of the
Yeah.
walkie-talkie, right?
yeah, I mean that is a bit how it
Yeah.
works. It's like it's like
It's like
I mean it's like
speakerphone. It's not an earpiece.
yeah, it's not an
So
earpiece.
I'll let
It's on your
McGowan
wrist. You
know.
can.
So you
Yeah.
didn't need to yell this.
You have telepathy. You could have just told us.
That's what I'm saying is that's why I didn't want to use the Omni thing. So I'm going to use telepathy to tell
Nice,
McGowan
nice.
what I saw back here and let him know the situation of like, I don't want everyone, same way that he didn't want to tell Tork that I was going back there. I was like, I don't want everyone like running back here, but if we want this shit, we should, I can get it for us, kind of. I don't have that much cash on me, but
So there was the heavy weapon charges,
Mhm.
eviscerator shotgun.
Well, there's
there's a weapon mod,
two weapon
like
mods.
barrel.
Yep, there's an Omniblade barrel attachment and an extended magazine
Yeah.
attachment. Two different kinds of grenades, a shotgun, and an Omni tool program, the Trace Signal Jammer.exe.
I want to know what that is.
The Trace Signal Jammer, while this program is activated, the user is hidden from long-range sensors. You cannot be targeted by any tracking device that functions by receiving a tracking device's signal, and targeting lasers cannot pinpoint your precise location, giving you advantage on any saving throws against heavy weapons that require targeting to fire.
That's pretty cool.
Ray wants it.
And I will turn to Tork.
Yes.
Hey, buddy.
And Ray's in the back room with the proprietor right now. And apparently we have all of this to buy. And then I'll just, rattle off that list.
I take note of what I want, and I immediately send Reya money to buy 3 cluster grenades and the barrel attachment.
Okay.
The bayonet or the
bayonet or okay.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay, so you buy out all of the cluster grenades. So, well, okay. And the other thing too, again, and another thing about armor limits, each person can only carry 2 grenades unless you get additional slots.
Okay, I'll just grab 2 then. I can't put any in my backpack.
You don't have a backpack. That's kind of the thing with Mass Effect, is that that's something that like, that's one of the things like I'm trying to figure out a good way to implement it, because the game is written so that like you're basically doing standalone missions and there's not a lot of like downtime between those missions. But since we're doing a campaign, it makes it a little bit more finicky. And so like what I've said before is that if you guys find if you want to go out and buy some backpacks or you find some bags, you can use those to carry some extra stuff. It's not going to be like anything super serious, and it's not going to be stuff that you'll be able to like pull out in the middle of combat to use, but you can have like extra stuff on your person that you could swap out and stuff. It's something we can talk about. But yeah, you can only have 2 grenades equipped stock.
Okay.
Again, it's another thing that can be upgraded with armor mods.
Okay.
Grenades are really powerful, so if you could carry like 6 grenades, you'd be pretty fucking OP. Grenades are really powerful.
Well, I just want 2 cluster grenades, please.
Okay, yep, and those are the marked ones.
Warbucks.
So if you go to the equipment in the handbook and find grenades, you'll see that every grenade has different marks that increase the damage. These are Mark 1 cluster grenades. Oh, I got like a burp in my throat. That's awful. I hate when that happens when I'm trying to talk.
Gross, dude.
pretty terrible.
What?
It's the worst when you're trying to talk.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I have a single question for you.
Yes.
How much did the extended magazine cost?
It was 27,000.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll let Ray know that I want to buy that.
Okay.
And send the funds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've bought the Omni Blade attachment. of the grenades.
You said these are level or Mark 1? Yeah.
Yep, Mark 1. So they're still very good, but
Like 27,000. I don't think you can afford that.
yeah, 27,000.
No, I can afford that. Yes,
Yeah, no,
can
I was
afford
like,
that.
I don't have nearly enough.
You
to
can't
get
put
the
cluster grenades in your weapons.
40 grand thing or whatever it is.
They're gear, not weapons.
Yeah, they're under gear, which is weird. I don't know why, but it's same thing with heavy weapons and heavy ammo. It's all under gear. I think it's because it's not like
where's gear? Do you mean
if you go to your equipment, if you go to equipment, there's a gear. Like if you go to the equipment on the handbook, not your character sheet.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out how to add it to my character sheet, but I can't.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure how to do that with
Anyway,
just add them to your inventory. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, just whatever you need to do to keep track. It's fine. I'm not fussed about it.
Am I the only one that's using the N7 World character sheet?
Yeah, I'm using a notebook. It's kind of confusing then.
I'm using a Google Sheets drive or whatever it
she's
is.
you're using the
Spreadsheet.
the really old spreadsheet.
Those are so much more comprehensive. This thing sucks. They need to update this.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. If they're always doing stuff. It seems like these days, rather than doing small updates, they tend to do longer periods of time between bigger updates where they change more stuff.
They added some different code to it, unless that code is just for the whole.
No,
because you get a
they
pop-up,
did.
but
I'm involved. I'm a frequent user of the Discord for the ME5E development stuff, and they recently changed some stuff about the sheets.
Type this to them for me: www.whenareyouupdatingthecharactersheets.org.biz.
Probably not for a bit because they did it not that long ago. But if just as a tangent, real quick, if you join the ME5E Discord, people post their own versions of these things that you can use too, that are not necessarily the ones that are on the website. So there's always that as an option as well.
I know that's where Ray got the Google sheet, huh?
No, that's also on the website too. That's where we were using them from before when we were doing our one shots. Anyways, this is something we can talk about later. Okay. Is there any other purchases you guys want to make, or are you done? Are you satisfied?
That's it. For me,
I'm good.
Can I put my attachment? Where do I put my attachment?
It would go into your. It would just go into your inventory for now, into your equipment, because it's it's like armor mods. It will take time and resources to equip to your weapon.
Yeah.
It's not an instantaneous thing. You need to do a little bit of engineering. You'll need a weapon bench and an armor bench for your respective pieces of equipment. Which I would say, just for clarification, since I feel like I haven't specified this, you would have seen in your time at Grom's, he does have the workstations available for this stuff.
Oh, nice.
So it can be done. It can be done. It will take some time, but it can be done. So, with your purchases made, I guess, are there any questions you have for Delzito about his contract? As you guys, Reya, you and Delzino step out of the back room, and the rest of you guys are kind of waiting by the counter to finalize your transactions.
I definitely thank him for the kindness he's shown us and reassure him that I won't run my mouth.
Sincere gratitude. You have my thanks for seeing to this problem that I have been dealing with, and for spending your hard-earned credits at my store.
I love him.
I will. If they're out of the back room, I'll walk up to Delzino.
Yeah, you guys are all standing by the counter at this point.
Okay. I did have one more question about the contract, if you don't mind.
Certainly. How can I be of assistance?
You said you lost several trucks attempting to make this run, correct?
Indeed. 3 previous shipments were lost.
Do you know whereabout on the route they were lost?
Let me make sure. Let me double check. They were lost closer to the village than to here. Perhaps 3 or 4 hours outside of town.
Outside of the 3 or 4 hours outside of the village.
Losan, yes.
And they were all lost in the same area.
Based on what tracking data I have, yes. In almost the exact same place.
And
Which
that was,
leads me to believe there are bandits or some creatures waiting in ambush.
that was where it points to. They were lost on the way there, not on the way back. Correct.
From what I can tell, yes.
Good to know. That's the only questions I have. If anyone else has anything.
Since you will be escorting the vehicle in a few days' time, there is no need to show you the truck until then, unless you would wish to see it now.
I don't think we need to see it right now.
I'm good.
We good?
Very good. I look forward to hearing of your success.
Well, that's nice.
That is nice.
Have a fine day. And he kind of goes back to his work. See him kind of trundle off across the store to kind of go check on some of his employees.
Cool.
I will. Alpha, how's the Mako repair going?
At this point, Alpha, you're probably, we'll say, like 2.5 hours into the process. So you got another hour and a half or so left to work. You know, it's mostly been replacing loose metal panels that fell off the bottom of the vehicle when you went off your jumps and stuff. So it's not been particularly complicated engineering. It's just been a lot of time and measurements and making sure things are lining up correctly and that the integrity of the armor is going to be up to snuff. So it's not a lot of complex stuff, but it's a lot of stopping and checking your work, basically, which for Geth saves some time, but only so much.
At this point, there is nothing complex, so there should be no issues. However, there's a lot of regular maintenance that needs to happen. It will take approximately 1.5 standard hours for us to complete.
Well, I can head over your way and try to help as best I can.
Your system is most welcome if you wish to come join us.
That's what we can all go do then.
Sounds good to me.
Sure. Yeah, you guys are able to make your way over there easy enough. It's another 15-minute walk.
Please remind the Krogan that not every problem is fixed by hitting it. Ha, 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 ha.
Tell that to my hammer and my homeworld.
So the front door, the big garage door is open by this time. You know, by now it's like late morning. You know, it's probably after 10 by now. And, you know, when you get there, you see the two big Varens sitting out front, one red, one green, kind of lounging in the sun, kind of guard dogging out front. And inside you hear kind of the sounds of what you assume are Alpha and Omega working away at your Mako. And you go inside, and sure enough, there he is. His Mako's parked kind of in the main open area where it was when you bought it. and you see there's stacks of metal plates, and some of them are horribly bent and mangled. Others look like they're fresh, clean ones that are being bolted on as things are going here. And you see Alpha kind of working away underneath the Mako with like a welding torch, sort of a sci-fi welding torch. If there's anything you guys want to try and do while you're here, you can. Otherwise, we can just fast forward. It's up to you.
Fast forward.
Sure.
Can't hear you, Ryan.
I think we need to work on the mute button of this, transport. But past that, I think we're fine.
Yeah. So, the next hour and 20 minutes goes by. You guys just all kind of hang out while Alpha finishes up. And
I mean, I'm helping.
So if you're helping, that'll speed things up a little bit. That'll actually shave about 40 minutes off. So, it takes about 45 minutes then really to get the whole thing finished up.
Do you care if I roll a die just to see if Tork knows anything about cars? We've just never talked about it with him.
Sure. Go ahead and make an engineering check.
Ooh.
Tork.
And that's under int.
Yeah, it would be an intelligence check, and your proficiency modifier if you're proficient in the skill, which I don't believe you are.
I am not.
Yep. So it's just your intelligence modifier plus a d20.
Does Tork know about cars? 7.
Back on T'Chaka, you had a clan engineer who did all that stuff, and you didn't have to spend a second worrying about it. So you don't really have much knowledge.
What?
Tork, if you really want to help, we could use some extra elbow grease. And don't forget the headlight fluid.
What can I say? I had a driver back home on T'Chaka. Don't know how to fix him. I know how to shoot out of them, but I don't know how to fix them.
I bet I've met your driver.
No, I couldn't make up a name, damn me. You make up a name, DM.
Wait, a name for the driver?
Yeah, what's my driver's name?
Jeff,
I mean, it wouldn't have been your driver. It would have been the clan mechanic.
Sycamore the Krogan.
And his name would be
Krogan names. Your mechanic was named.
What's your clan, Tork?
Shelfrock Brogo.
Well, it would be from the same clan as Tork, so it's his clan name. Gambok. His name is Gam.
Oh, Gam.
Gambok Peter.
Peter?
No, his name is
Peter.
Put me on the spot.
Blark.
Gambok. Bark. We'll say. Bark. Sure.
Bark.
That's
with
definitely
two
like
A's.
the Krogan version of
Bark
like
with
Bud.
2 A's. Bark with
It's
2
like
A's.
Bark.
That's an alien name.
Bark.
Don't make fun of him.
I
Who's fighting words?
know him. It's canon now, so I'm not making fun of him. I know him.
How do you know Gambok Bark?
I think he drove for me for an occasion once.
Maybe you ran into him in a workplace scenario?
That's exactly what I said, yes.
So anyways.
Gambek Park. Oh, yes. He owes me money from shells.
About 45 minutes later, the Mako is as fixed up as it's going to be. It's back to full hit points, McGowan, so go ahead and make that modification.
121.
Yeah, it's all ready to go.
Nope.
So with the Mako ready to go, you
Doesn't
paid.
you all go through and gather a bounty for us to do?
We got 2. Were you not paying attention?
Cut 2.
I was busy repairing our transport vehicle.
Oh, roasted.
Fair enough.
Not
Or
all of
wait,
us
when a
get
robot
paid.
does it, is it more of a zinger? Like zing.
Not all of us get paid to sit around and run our yaps. Ha 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 ha.
Ouch.
Bot's got jokes, y'all.
Seriously. Okay, so Mako's all fixed and ready to go. You guys are able to set out on these bounties whenever you want to. By now, it's like 11, just a little before 11 o'clock
AM or PM?
a.m.
Oh, we might as well head out of it. Oh, well,
We'll get there at 9 p.m. It's about 10 hours out.
For this particular bounty, would it be better for us to go through and investigate it during the daylight or the nighttime?
Well, I imagine we'll have to talk to some locals.
I don't know how keen I am to meeting this animal at night.
Yeah, that could be. Well, it could also give us the upper hand.
Is this particular animal stronger during the day or stronger during the night?
I don't think we know. That's something we'd have to ask the locals.
So then we should spend today going through and examining locals before we head out tomorrow to find it.
Well, the attacks are taking place at a village 10 hours away from here.
Yeah,
So yeah, we have to go talk to
So you have to
those
travel
locals.
there to talk to the people who know about this.
So then in either
Is it
case,
10
we
hours
should
away
head
by
out.
car?
Yes, it's a drive.
Okay.
This is a remote planet. There's not a lot of Port Fulstone is one of 2 cities on the whole planet. It is a very remote rural planet. So the settlements are scattered. Most of them are farming or mining communities, and they are typically not more than like a few thousand people. It's a very sparsely populated planet, so it's a trek to go from anywhere basically. I mean, you could charter a shuttle from the hangar, but there's a cost to that, and that would be a shorter amount of time, but there's money involved in that. So,
And we'd be on foot when we got there.
mm-hmm.
So we could show up at a small farming village at 9 o'clock at night and start asking questions.
Might as
But-
well.
Or, Tork, you and I, well, actually, the 3 of us all have modifications to make to our equipment. So we could take care of that
I am itching to do that.
and head out in the morning.
Don't we have stuff to do tomorrow?
Yeah, this.
No,
I'm able.
I mean other stuff.
Well, the stuff from Gree, there's not. He didn't give you an exact day. He said a few days. So there's sort of. You don't know. You don't know exactly when to expect word from him. He said a few days. So could be tomorrow. Could be the day after. It's hard to say.
So I'm able
Good.
to make modifications to your armor and/or your weapons if we are able to find the appropriate workbench. The question is, do we want to do this before we head out or wait until we get there?
But we know we have the benches here. We may or may not have them when we get there.
Why don't we use the benches, modify our stuff, have some day naps, plan it so that we arrive at, the crack of dawn tomorrow morning. We drive overnight.
I can get behind that.
Sounds good.
That is fine with us.
Sounds great, actually.
Yes, Tork had a good plan.
Tork had a plan.
Okay, so if you guys are going to be customizing stuff, this is the first time we're doing any of this, so this will be exciting. Who wants to start? So for starters, I believe the only person who can actually craft those this stuff in your party is alpha because you need to be proficient with armor smiths. You need to be proficient with armor smiths tools, which is a for armor it's armor smiths tools, and for weapons it's a weapon bench. What are the exact tool names?
I think it's armor bench and weapon bench.
Let's see.
That's correct. Armor bench and
armor
workbench.
armor smiths workbench, and the weaponsmith's workbench.
So those were the two tools I took proficiency in.
And
However,
they're
large, so they're not something I can just carry.
Nope, there are workbenches available at Grom's though, so you would be able to do that here.
Let's go to Grom's.
You're already there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tork goes to turn around and realizes that he's already where he wants to be and turns back around and does a full 360.
Question.
Well, how about that?
Question, Galaxy Master.
Yes.
Can I offer my assistance to Alpha and try to learn about using and use that as like a...
What I will say is you wouldn't be able to offer your assistance because it takes about, I think it's like 40 to 60 hours to learn a new tool proficiency. You could take this time to
add to
tick time off of that.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, yeah. It wouldn't speed up the process or anything because you don't really have any experience with it, but you could learn by watching, certainly.
Okay.
And I would say, yeah, we'll see how much time passes, and then we'll adjust. So it depends on what people want to upgrade. You've got an Omni tool program, a couple of gun attachments.
Me first.
And I don't think you guys found anything at the camp. Did you? Any mods?
I didn't have anything on my list.
Okay. So Tork, you want to do your weapon mods?
Yes, please. And I walk over and I drop my shotgun down on
The Claymore?
the weapon table. Yeah, the Claymore.
Okay. So let's see here. So you want to attach a barrel mod, so you can only have one mod per slot. Each weapon has 4 slots. So the Omni Blade would be the barrel. Alpha, if you're going to start working on this, let's see. I want to say there's an Omnigel cost for this, but it's not.
I know there's one Omnigel whenever there's a mod change.
A mod change. Okay, I think because the weapons are a little bit easier to mod as well. Armor is more complicated, so
sure.
We'll go with that. We'll go for one Omnigel for now.
Okay.
In addition to the time, but let's see, mods armor.
Well, given the we're at a workshop right now, and they're the ones that have the benches. Do they have Omnigels that we can purchase here?
At Vericor's, yes, Grom has Omnigel. He's got a lot.
Okay. So at this point in time, I used all my Omnigel to fix our transport.
I can buy it.
Yeah. So basically, you just have to go through and just pay for the Omnigel that we need, or just buy a bunch of it and I'll hold on to the rest.
Because the only thing I'm finding prices on and times and stuff for are armor mods, which takes a lot longer than weapon stuff.
How much Omnigel can each person hold?
Omnigel, there's no limit. There's no max on Omnigel.
Oh, well,
So you can.
Just how much do we need then?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because we've never done the mod thing before, and I've read up on it a few times, but because we've never actually done it, I haven't had a chance to practice it and get it in my head. And there's a lot of information for armor mods, but the weapon mods are a little bit more difficult. Also, is your shotgun special, Tork? Does it have the special characteristic on it? Because special weapons cannot be modded. They're already really powerful, usually. That's why.
It's blue. It's rare. Where would it say that it's special?
It would be under the weapon properties with like double tap and stuff where that would be.
It is not special.
Okay. All right. God, I wish I could find where this thing was. We'll say since weapons are easier to mod, we'll say it'll take you an hour per mod and 2 Omnigel. However, Alpha, as you start to tinker away with this weapon, I need you to make an engineering check for me.
Sure. All right. So just see, it's still +2, so +7 overall. 17.
17.
Attaboy.
You start scanning it with your Omni tool and your Geth sensors rather than starting to like open it up first. You find there is more to this weapon than meets the eye, and not in a way that is beneficial to you. One, you find that it is fingerprint locked, so it will not fire unless activated by the person whose fingerprint is matched with it. You also find a micro explosive inside. And so if you start tinkering with it, there is a chance that it will explode.
It's a good thing I never fired it then. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has a fingerprint lock, so if you'd fired it, it wouldn't have done anything. It just would have.
Well,
You
at the
wouldn't
same point in time,
be
then
able to pull the trigger.
what would the explosive be for?
Security, probably.
But if you can't fire, if you don't have the right
Tinkering,
fingerprint.
prevent tinkering.
Gotcha. Okay. I will pass on to Tork, stating that I can't go through and work on this weapon, but there is a chance that it could explode because it is currently wired to explode.
What kind of explosion are we talking about? Are you going to be able to handle it, or should I go find another shotgun?
I should switch.
With most typical weapons explosion, it is typically a personnel-based explosion. So if somebody were to tinker with this weapon and fail, the weapon would explode in their face.
What did you roll again, Alpha?
17.
17. You'd probably surmise that it's about. You don't know the like potency of the explosion, but it'd probably be something about the size of a grenade. So a small scale explosion, but probably with a lot of force behind it. Mm-hmm. You also find that while this process of disarming all of these security measures will be very time consuming, it is doable. It will just be a lengthy process that you'll have to either find a way to do in small chunks or to have enough time to just sit down and work on it for a long time. So this is a weapon that could be used in the future, but at the moment is probably a little more trouble than it's worth to mess around with.
Right. What's a long time? Like 20 hours total or something?
Until he starts messing with it, it would be hard to say. Because he'd have to kind of tinker with these safety measures.
In game terms, like, do I need to get like 10 successes to do it? Does it take 20 game hours?
I would say...
Screw this, I'm going back to the other guy's shop. He has shotguns for sale.
I will say, well, I was going to say the other thing is, too, I think McGowan has a shotgun that you loaned him. I don't know if he'd give it back to you or not, but you guys do have some weapons that you've been kind of passing around. I would say to do this, it would be the equivalent of trying to create a chest mod. So 24 hours and 10 Omnigel worth of work.
Okay.
And you would be able to do it in pieces, but it would require care to do it in chunks so that you didn't.
Yeah.
So you'd have
this
to
is something that I would be able to do. However, be very time consuming. I would estimate approximately a week of regular time playing with it for me to be able to go through and adapt this to the point where you can use it without exploding.
I think I can find a shotgun that's probably just as.
You do have storage. You do have storage in the Mako. If you want to keep it for later, you would be able to stash it there.
If I leave this in the Mako, will you work on it from time to time?
This is something I can work on every time we come back into town. It will still take me time, but given our time we will be on the planet, I might be able to eventually get it fixed before we leave.
that sounds like fun to you, I've got a hobby you can get into.
I can definitely go through and work on this. You will have to go through and tell me every time we're back in town or remind me to work on this, and I will spend a couple hours until we are done.
Well, let's hope that I remember.
So yes, as long as you remind me whenever we get back into town, I will spend at least a couple hours every time we're back into town, or we have downtime to work on it until we have it taken care of.
So I'm gonna need to come up to you and be like, "Hey, want to work on that shotgun?"
You're a Krogan. That's how Krogans work.
It's
Fair
role
enough.
play, man. It's a good chance to role play.
Oh, I'm just not gonna remember. That's my only problem.
That's
Make
the
it-
thing. Is like I'm not going
Just
to
make a note.
remember.
Make
So
a
if you
note.
want me to work on it, remind me, and I will totally do it.
Okay. That being said, I'm gonna go to McGowan and
Ask, so that shotgun didn't work out. Do you have another one?
Sort of sighs and wordlessly takes the shotgun, HE-12 Raider, by the way, and gives it to Tork.
Do you use your shotgun? I can always go buy another one.
It's fine. I have other guns.
You found that shotgun
Guns
too,
on guns
Tork,
on
by the
guns.
way.
Yeah, you actually gave me this shotgun because you found that one, which was supposedly better. However, as it turns out,
I don't want to do a take backs, but I noticed you weren't using it, and I found it
Take-backs.
first, so
it's okay.
Wow.
While you were
Finders,
shopping for weapons,
reapers, am I right?
while you were
Reapers.
Reapers! They're all dead.
She made a Mass Effect joke.
that was good. That was a good
It
one.
was. I appreciate it.
Plus 50 DKP.
Yeah.
while you were shopping, did the weapons store happen to have any Geth weaponry?
Oh, I
See
definitely
anything.
looked.
You didn't see anything
Oh,
that looked like
I see how this is. It is all about the Team Biologics. Screw Team Robot.
Hey, Team Robot, do you want to put that bayonet on this shotgun instead?
Hey, Team Biologics. How many Geth weapons did you find in that weapon store?
I
I made a joke. Of course I will.
Tork just doesn't really know how to react like the Geth dog, and he's like, "So are you gonna do it or not?"
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this will be an hour and 2 Metagel. Or 2 Omnigel to attack.
Well, basically, at this
my
point in
dog.
time, if we're not leaving today, you guys might as well go ahead and give me everything you want to put mods on now, and
Mhm.
gather whatever information you can out in the town while I'm working on this stuff.
Well, I'm going to be looking over your shoulder the whole time.
I mean, if it blows up and you're looking over my shoulder, it's going to take you out too.
I mean,
No, you're not modifying that one. Not yet.
yeah, you're modifying a different gun. Right?
I mean, that was the one that I knew there was an explosive in.
Yeah, well, let's find out about this. I've shot this one, so
We're talking about
Yes.
the Raider, right?
yeah, I've shot a bunch of people with that
Yeah.
thing.
No, basically, just at this point in time, you might as well just give me everything that needs to be modded, and then while I'm working on it, you guys can gather additional information, supplies, whatever we need to do. Because I don't need sleep like you guys do. I just power down and charge.
Yeah,
So I think it was McGowan, you also had a mod you wanted installed, right?
yeah, I wanted the extended magazine mod installed on my N7 Typhoon.
Okay, so that'll be 2 hours and 4 Omnigel for all of that.
Okay, so how much
So-
Omnigel purchase? What's the cost on that purchase?
The Omnigel cost, let me look this up real quick.
Yeah, because I'm proficient in the weapons bench and the armor bench, I don't need to roll to put them in. But it still takes time. You guys still have to buy the Omnigel.
The Omnigel costs, if I can, where did it go? Omnigel is 1,000 credits per canister.
So -4.
Well, I'm 2 of that, so I'll do 2.
Yeah, it's two Omnigel per weapon. So
Okay.
it's a total of 4 Omnigel for the 2 mods.
All right, so 2 apiece.
And I will do some digging to see if I can find if there's an official answer to that. If not, I will see what people do in the Discord. What the general consensus is on that.
And to be fair, I have. Go ahead.
Because there is stuff for the armor, but the weapon mods are a little bit more loosey goosey. It seems like.
Wait.
Yeah. And to be fair, before he fixed the Mako, I did have 12 Omni Gel on me. I just burned them all fixing the Mako.
Yeah.
So we do run across Omni Gel often enough.
Yeah.
And you can also get Omni Gel for breaking items down. So if you need to like break down some guns that you're not using or something that you don't think you can get like enough money for, you can break it down for Omni Gel. It takes time, but you can do it.
So yeah, I can go through and spend the next couple hours working on updating the mods for weapons. I mean, Reya, did you have any mods you wanted to add?
I didn't get any.
Oh wait,
this time.
Didn't you get the Omni Gel? Oh yeah.
I have my armor mod too.
Which one is the armor mod?
It's the
No, I wanted that tactical scanner.
Oh no, you guys also do actually each have an armor mod in the offhand ammo packs.
Yeah, we have 6
that
offhand ammo packs.
You have 6 offhand ammo packs you found. So those would have been things you could have sold to Jado, and we can retroactively say that you've sold 3 of them, or 4 of them, I guess, or 2 of them, I guess.
Yeah, we would have sold 2 of them.
Okay, so those are worth. Let me see what the cost is on the offhand ammo packs.
Alpha, did you say you don't want one?
I don't need one at this point.
Okay.
Like
So
I'm going through. I'm using my armor mods for other things.
So we sell 3.
So you have 3. So you would have been able to make probably 150 credits off each of those. They're pretty cheap.
Oh.
Okay.
So
you
that'd be 600 credits total for the 4 offhand, or no, sorry, it'd be 450 for 3.
Yeah.
So each of those will also. So those are armor mods, and so this is where things start to get a little bit more funky or a little bit more complicated with the mod rules. Because you're trying to mod armor that does not have armor mod slots in it with stock armor, you have to take time to first create mod slots before you can put the mods in. And that is very time consuming. For the arms, which is where the offhand ammo pack, it would be it would be whatever your character's offhand is. So it would typically be the left. For most people, it's a little thermal clip pouch that can hold 2 extra thermal clips. That will take, you can either pay Veracor Grom to do the work, and that would be 2,000, or no, sorry, depending on the armor type, it would, for your group, for light armor, it's 2,000, for medium, it's 3,000, for heavy, it's 4. And if you wanted to do it yourself, for each one, it's going to take 8 hours and 2 Omni Gel to build the mod slot.
What about legs? What about for legs?
Do you have leg mods?
Yeah, the Omni Gel reaction thing is.
Oh, legs are the same as arms. Arms and legs have the same cost and same time and everything. So
I'm still looking for those leg things at some point too.
Yeah, the ones that you want are super, super nice though. So they're going to be a little harder to come across, but they are really cool, and I have not forgotten that you're looking for those at some point.
I have to go to a bigger planet.
Yeah. So either for Tork, these will cost 3,000 credits, and it will take
4,000.
4,000 for heavy. You should have medium armor. You shouldn't have heavy armor. You're not proficient with heavy armor.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
It's 3,000 credits. Plus, we'll say. I wish there was time on here.
Time.
Thanks.
Because so it's either 3,000 credits, and we'll say 6 hours from Veracor from Grom, or if you want to do it yourself, for each one, it's going to be 8 hours and 2 Omnigel, just to put the mod slot in, and then once you have the mod, it goes by quicker. But because you guys have stock armor, you have to first make it moddable, because stock armor comes with no mod slots on it.
But if we give it to Grom, he'll make the mod slots and install them in 6 hours.
Let's
Long
see. So
rest.
we're getting a little complicated. So let's see. Custom armor.
But while he's modding them, we don't.
So
have
this would
armor.
that's just to make the mod slot. That's just to modify the stock armor without putting the mod on. To put the mod on,
and he holds our armor while we're doing that.
Unless you could stand
and and what this would do is this creates 2 mod slots for going through this process. So you could create one. I would say you could create 1 mod slot in half the time. So it would or half the cost. So instead of it being 3,000 and 6 hours to create the mod slot, it would be 1,500 and 3 hours for just the one.
But we have to unequip it and hand it over to him.
Correct.
You basically would be here, and because you got and that's the thing is because you guys all have stock body armor, your armor is not modular. So you basically have to take your armor off and give him the whole suit of armor.
Okay, so if we want to do everyone's, then it would be I need 2. So I would need 3 hours and 3 hours times 2 and $3,000. And then what does everybody else have in terms of armor class or armor weight?
I have heavy armor, so take a lot of money and a lot of time. I don't need
the time doesn't change at all. It's just the cost.
What is
either way? It just gives me more ammo, which I've not run out of thermal clips yet. So
if we're leaving at 5 a.m. tomorrow, because that's what time we got up today, right? And we felt good about that.
No, well, we wanted to drive through the night because we want to get there in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I forgot. That was my
We're
plan.
taking a midday nap.
So we probably won't have time for that.
It was your good plan.
So if we want to
probably
arrive there at 5 a.m., then we gotta leave at fucking 7. It's 10 hours away.
No, yeah, 7.
You guys would probably have time to do the weapon mods. The armor mods would take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So there's 8 hours between now and then. So 2 people can get. Wait. They're 3 hours each.
Well, the thing is, he can only Grom, if you hire him to do this, Grom and Alpha can only do one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So Grom could do the 2 mods that you want, Tork, but that would be 6 hours.
I don't want to be greedy because I want to do the bayonet mod to my shotgun. So that's what I'm prioritizing.
That'll be quick. That'll be pretty quick.
I can do the weapon mods. I can do both weapon mods in time. So the time constraint is the armor mods.
Yeah, to install the mods, you basically just need to spend a short rest.
Couple hours.
Doing it.
Couple hours piece, just to give us enough time.
Do you guys?
And 2 Omni Gel.
Because we don't need to leave until 7 p.m. So that gives us 8 hours. Is anybody else dying to do armor mods? I don't know what offhand ammo does.
It allows you to carry 2 more
clips.
thermal clips. It's a small mod, but
I don't need it right now.
What about you, Ray?
I'm not worried about it, but
well, then I can just do my the reaction metagel mod. Okay. So I'll do my gun and my pants.
Okay, so Alpha can do the gun, so that's an hour and two Omni Gel. So however you want to pay for the Omni Gel or figure that's between you guys. That's 2,000.
Took it out.
That'd be 2,000 credits for the Omni Gel canisters necessary for that, and then it would be an hour of time to attach the mod. So, Alpha, you get to work on that, and then Tork, you said you wanted to hire Grom to do the armor mod.
Yep.
Okay, so that would be 3 hours, and I lost the page.
1,500.
1,500. There's also an Omni Gel cost to it, or no, the cost covers the Omni Gel.
Nice.
And McGowan,
Yes,
you had a weapon mod too.
one.
correct?
It'd be one Omni Gel basically
Yeah.
because you need 2 Omni Gel. Oh, it's the max slots. Okay, that's interesting. So it'd be. Sorry, this is the first time we're ever messing with this, so I've got to kind of figure this out here. So it would. Okay, sorry, I was reading this wrong. It's 3,000 per slot. So you can have up to, but you can have up to 2 slots on your legs. So
That's fine. I've
Yep, so
got
it's the-
money bags.
yep, it's the three. It'd be the 3,000, and then we'll say
8
3
hours
hours.
to Omni Gel.
Well, that's if you're going to do it yourself. He's paying Grom to do it, and so we're saying Grom is going to do because again the rules are not super specific about how this works, and I don't want to go overboard or like be too reserved with it and then have to walk back a whole bunch of stuff later on. I'm just trying to kind of like play it by ear. I'm gonna triple check through this and see if I can't find this again because I've read through this section a whole bunch of times, but we've never used it before. And then I'll see what other people do. I'll find what other DMs do for.
There's lots of info in this. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
because like it's the weapon mods and stuff, like weapon mods, vehicles, all that stuff is a lot different from regular D&D.
Yeah,
So
same.
it's a little bit more.
Basically, what I'm getting is that the time is still the time. You're just paying somebody else to do the time because I can't work on the weapon mods and the armor mods at the same time. But I can get both weapon mods done while he's working on the armor mod.
Correct.
In the same time period.
And
Correct.
could I soak up all of that time for proficiency learning?
Yeah, I'll say this. You get 3 hours. You can
So-
subtract 3 hours from your total. Well, no, you could watch Grom too, I suppose. I'll let
Yeah.
you do that. That's fine. Yeah, go
Well,
ahead and take 3 hours off of the
Grom,
60
yeah.
total.
One
for
thing that
learning.
For both?
For one, pick one because they are two different
Okay.
tool sets.
I'm doing armor. So I
Okay.
took 3 off of armor.
So one thing that you want to keep in mind is that if you're going to drive all night and then immediately start interacting the next day, you might want to start resting now, because I can go there, I can work on this stuff, and then rest during drive there. But if you guys are paying attention on our drive there, you're going to get there and you're going to be tired because you've been up for 24 hours.
I'm gonna watch and then I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna watch Grom work
Or
on the armor
rest
and then
or
I'm gonna get
whatever.
some sleep or what. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
rest.
gonna climb in the Mako and kick your feet back.
Yeah.
I'm in a rest for sure, but in the form of going to the pub and getting more dumplings and some beer.
That's not going to count as a long rest, just because a long rest is actual like downtime, very little activity, not moving really. But you could spend a little bit of time doing that, of course. So it's at this time it's like a little afternoon. It's probably like 2.
You could totally go get bombed for lunch
At
and then
this
just
point-
pass out to where you need to go.
That's the only way that he'll sleep because, like, I don't know. He's an old Krogan. He can probably just snooze anytime he wants.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance that it's interrupted, but yeah, there's always if you have time to sleep, you can always try.
Can I roll for if Tork is asleep on command kind of guy or like takes forever to fall asleep, motherfucker?
I mean, if you want to, you can. It can just be up to you. Go ahead and make like a Constitution saving throw.
Saving throw.
Yeah, see how fast you fall asleep.
I mean, if it helps, I'm sure there's some very, very large
If you want
pieces
to,
of equipment.
that's totally up to you. It's
At
a
the shop.
character thing.
Just-
So
Yeah. I mean, you do come with a hammer on your. Oh,
Give
look
yourself
at
a
that,
little
yeah.
conk in the head. You'll be right asleep.
No, I rolled
Okay.
a 16.
you're excited for what's to come, and so you find it a little bit difficult to get to sleep. You're a little restless, but eventually, you're looking forward to the next fight, but eventually, yeah, you are able to get some rest. So you guys, McGowan and Tork, you guys are falling asleep at about, what would this be? You'd be after 3, like of 3:30 ish. So for a full 8-hour rest, that'll take you until like 11:30 at night.
But we're leaving at 7.
Well, now we're leaving at 9. No, wait,
Or leaving
No,
at
no,
11:30.
No,
we leave at 11 and we get there at like 9:30.
I mean, to be fair, if we get there too early, everything's gonna be closed anyway. Like we're not finding the creature
Yeah,
there, we're finding the town.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay. So yeah, those of you who want to take a long, or those of you you will need a long rest because at some point you will become exhausted if you're up for 24 hours, and there are penalties to being exhausted.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reya, you guys can all get as much time as you need. Of course, you guys are essentially on your own timetable right now, so there's no real pressure. You can do whatever you want. So you guys will be rested by 11 p.m. Grom, at some point, he kind of like tells you to park the truck outside, but you can chill however you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You get your mods installed. So Tork, you've got your leg mods and your bayonet. So go ahead and add those to your equipment list.
Huzzah!
There was there any other modding
had one
that
too.
wanted to be done? Yeah, McGowan.
Yeah,
what were you getting done? You had the magazine.
Yeah, the extended magazine.
Yeah, so that you can also add that to your weapon.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
What are you, a priest?
So yeah, you guys wake up. And eventually you guys kind of come to since Alpha, you actually only need about 6 hours of powered downtime, so you kind of get up and eventually sort of do
once I'm done doing what I can, I just hop on the McGowan and just shift into recharge mode.
You set an alarm, and when it goes off, you bark and paw at everybody until they're awake.
Cute, like a little panic button.
Bark, paw.
It is.
Get your ass up. Bark.
Dark outside. It
Okay,
is the
baby,
middle
go.
of the night, and it is very, very cold. And you guys, if there's anything you wanted to do before you set out, you're able to just start heading out towards Sarau, this village where this is taking place. And you drive back out the way you came in. You've come and gone a few times. In this Mako, the guards, the town, the militia on the wall kind of keep an eye on things as you pass by. And you head out into the night, making for the village of Sarau, east along the Goru Mountains. And as you begin your drive in the night, that is where we'll end things, and we'll pick up there in a couple of weeks.
Ice Road Truckers is the title of the next one. Hey,
The fucking Ice Runner. Love that game. Snow Runner. That's my shit. I love that game.
Yo.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, for real. That's awesome.
So if we're not
Glad to
here
be
in 2
back.
weeks, you can assume that our truck was hijacked and none of us made it.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Red. It's good to have you back after a few sessions without you.
Yay! I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, I don't know if we've got anything else. Well, we did actually, for those of you viewing, there is now a Mass Effect Aftermath Twitter account. ME Aftermath Show on Twitter. You can follow. You can get updates on when we're going live, if there's any other interesting news about the show and the cast members, and we'll also share other information and posts from the lovely people at Known World United who host this show for us and let us do this whole thing. We will have posts for Extra Life when that comes around later in the year, a charity event that we always participate in, that I've run games at for a couple of years. A few of us have also participated in.
You would.
I ran a game last fall with McGowan and Tork in it, and that way I had a good time with that.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, you go ahead and find Tork and his YouTube channel, Bad Luck FPV.
Yeah, I fly drones and stuff. It's tight.
Go ahead and find Red on her Twitch channel, Red Herring, and her Twitter account, which I don't have the actual handle for, but
It's a red herring. It's fine.
you can find all of that good information. Knox is also on Twitter. I don't remember what your handle is, but I know you're there. Because I'm following you.
It's
on the
Obnoxious
account.
Entertainment, and I am not using it very much right now, but I am there.
Well, that's obnoxious.
Right.
But I don't think there's anything else that we need to plug or anything. Again, thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Wait, hold on.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Hold on.
Wait, he says hold
Bye.
on. He says hold on.
Hold on.
Why are clowns like lava lamps?
Why?
Because they're pretty to look at, but they're not very bright.
And
Bye, everybody.
fade out.